How do you do? It would be a little unkind to present this picture without just a word of friendly warning. I think it will thrill you. It may shock you. It might even horrify you. So if any of you feel that you do not care to subject your nerves to such a strain, now is your chance to, well, we've warned you.
What's up, everybody? We are back. Me and Rocket have returned after a short period of a break, but now we are here. I happened to catch him in this one moment. You know he's going to disappear in a second. So everyone say hi to Rocket. He is above internet drama. He's better than all of your posers, so he's going to leave right now. Go listen to some hateful black metal. What's up, everybody? Good to see you all. Thanks for tuning in. I know it's been a minute. That is my apologies. Also, apologies for in my last two videos. I know the editing wasn't super great. The sound quality. I don't know what's been going on. I had some weird issues. Even now, like, let me know if my mic sounds like shit and I'll still try to fix it. But the last video I just did, the one about the Christians and the Satanic Panic, when I was finished recording it and I played it back, the volume for the video that I was watching was really loud, and then mine was so quiet I had to multiple times like double the volume before I could hear it at all. And that one and the one before it with the festivals were live reactions, so I was kind of like, I can't really re-record them because then it would just be me like faking it, sound like a shill. So it's like I can just try to salvage these and be like, I know they suck, just you can give me shit for it, I'll promise to do better. But besides that, we have returned, we are ready to go. Lots going on in the metal world, especially in the metalcore YouTube drama world, whatever you want to call it, from multiple different angles, because the internet was a mistake. But let me get to some comments. As usual, this episode is brought to you by Too Much Caffeine. I'll also apologize for the 5-minute delay in starting the show here because I was finishing working out, because motherfuckers in the comments keep guilt tripping me about, why do you have equipment behind you and you look like a pencil? And my response is, shut up. So there you go. Mr. Darkmare, first to comment. What's up, man? Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. We got Gerber saying, Butthurt Brent Hinds. Butthurt Brent, we're going to be calling him. I don't know enough to know if he's like in the right with what he's saying or not, but I think Butthurt Brent is funny, so we're going to go with that from now on. W Music says you should listen to Mastodon, Peak. I think most people know I'm not a big Mastodon fan, but they're fine. I don't have an issue with them. Josh, what's up, man? Do you want to be on camera now? You want to be in the show? Be on camera on his terms. Maryland Death Fest 4-day passes almost sold out for anyone interested. Hop on them before they disappear. Yeah, check that shit out. Next year has to be the year I finally go to Maryland Death Fest and Hell's Heroes. Obviously, if I could, I'd go to every single festival, but money is a thing. But yeah, those ones need to change for sure. Next year, I'm going to do my very best to do Hell's Heroes, Maryland Death Fest, Tolminator. See if we can squeeze another one in there somewhere. I would love to do Brutal Assault. If anyone's watching from Brutal Assault, I want to go. Anyway. Rob Hellfire says, I want to go to Maryland Death Fest so bad. Can't buy tickets till the end of the month. Good luck, man. I don't know how quickly those tickets usually go out, but everyone knows how legendary Maryland Death Fest is. People have asked me if I would do a video on Maryland. How come I haven't done a video before? The only reason I have not done a video on Maryland Death Fest is because I have not been. So it's kind of difficult for me to do like a full accurate breakdown to a festival I haven't been to before. I have done it for others, but there are ones like Rockstad, which kind of have like something that stand out about them. So I'm absolutely have nothing against Maryland Death Fest. I 100% want to go to it. That is the only reason I've not done a video, is because I have not been yet. But if enough people wanted me to, I can do one before and just make people aware, like, I haven't been, so you can just call me a poser. I recommend it. Night Fox says, Anthrax got added to 70K. Also, what's up, Wyatt? Welcome back. What's up? Thank you. Yeah, very good booking on 70K's part. They announced Anthrax, and public sales are going. I haven't checked on that, like how it's going yet, but very happy with Anthrax booking. I am not planning on attending 70K, but give him props for that. Where are we at? Kinky Sizemore, what's up? Says, we're doing it live. Fucking thing sucks. Catch up to a couple more comments. Wait. Sharon says, welcome back. Thank you. Yeah. Nothing was going on. I was just busy with other shit. But now I'm here, focused. There's lots of things to talk about. So we'll have a good time. Lilith says she loves Rocket. Everybody does, while he just sits there and fucking doesn't mind any business at all, just hanging out. People wondering why the chair looks like that. It's because of that cat. Blame him. He's a rowdy teenager. Wait. All right. Sharon says they announced some bands for the Helsinki Metal Cruise. Yeah, the Helsinki Metal Fest just took place over in Uganda, no, in Helsinki. And some of my friends went and said it was fucking amazing. I really wanted to go to it. Couldn't swing it this year. And they announced bands for a cruise. We'll go over that in a little bit here for sure. But glad to see more metal cruises popping up. Lilith says Wyatt is cute too. Everyone, Lilith is our resident blind person. We were trying to raise enough funds to get her proper eyesight. Thank you. Anakin's anger management therapist says, hey, Wyatt, I just started doing YouTube. I talk about weirdos and preds on the internet like Chris Chan. Any tips you have for me, and what editing software would you use? Cool. Yeah, I support anyone starting YouTube or any creative endeavors are going on. Editing programs, I use Filmora. That one's really good for me. It's pretty simple. I am completely computer retarded. So if I can figure it out, anyone can figure it out. And it also has been adding really cool new AI features. I haven't been using them for my videos, but it has really good text to AI video features now where you can make really funny shit with it. Not horrible, like stealing from art shit. Make funny memes with it. That's the only way it's good. Only advice aside from that I'd give for if you're going for that, talking about weirdos and preds on the internet, be sure that they are that before you publicly accuse them of that. Otherwise, you could get in a lot of trouble. If you think someone is, but you don't have obvious proof, be careful of what you're saying. Use the word allegedly a lot, and that will help you out. There's your first one. Take a shot. Oh shit, just in time. What's up, man? Kinky Sizemore says, dun dun dun. All right, let's pop up here. Comments are going fast. Chippo says, hey, I just got back home from Bloodstock. That was most certainly the best birthday weekend I could ever have. Nice. Hope it went well. I only went to Bloodstock once so far, but I would love to go back. We'll talk about that a little bit later, too. I hope you had a great time. Hey, Wyatt, or sup, Wyatt. Do you listen to any Balkan metal bands, specifically from Serbia, Croatia, or Bosnia? Not that I can think of off the top of my head, but I would love recommendations. If you have any you would like to drop in the chat for me to check out, please feel free to. Because I love checking out bands from different regions. Logan says, hey, Wyatt, what did I miss? Nothing so far. Great timing. Going through first comments, and then we're going to get into some stuff. But we're going to cover some shows announced, some bands doing stuff, a lot of drama going on, not going to lie, but we're going to save the Jerry Springer portion of the show for later, and we'll get through other fun stuff first. And okay, I'm going to cut down here. Mardik BM, what's up, man? Says, you said in one of your videos at Vakken you can have a hotel room instead of camping. Would you recommend this instead of camping? That's a difficult question because any hotel room is going to be further away, obviously, than camping is. So you're going to have to rely on a shuttle, which they have plenty of, but still it's annoying. If you're camping, you're right there. But if it rains, oh man, it's going to suck. I don't know if you saw videos from Vakken this year. It is the entire reason why I unfortunately don't go anymore. Let me pull up words. A quick thing about Vakken. Am I having a stroke? The fuck? 1 second. Fucking 2025 mud. I watched this video from, what's the channel name? Battle Jacket London? Something like that. Yeah, oh, cool. It just popped up right now. Battle Jackets London. This dude showed it pretty well, but he went to Vakken and basically didn't see shit and walked around in mud the whole time. And I think that was a lot of people's experience. Let me pull. Jamie, pull that up. Vakken has the mosh-tels you can stay in for a fee. All right. That's been added since I last went, so that's another thing. Yeah, I would just recommend staying in something with solid walls at Vakken, just to be safe. This is Battle Jackets London. Dude went to a couple festivals. This is my first time watching a video on his channel. But yeah, let's go through just a little bit of it so you guys can see how Vakken went.
Down. We literally haven't gone anywhere, and I've already found the first sign of where we're going. Welcome to Vakken 2025.
Right, yeah.
Still a long way to go, just in the port in Dover in England. About to get the ferry. We're going in the BJL Mobile.
Mudfest.
We're getting a queue if I want to buy something from there, but it looks sick.
I really want a tattoo. I feel like...
Yeah. This is what Vakken like most of the time. Ponchos and mud.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I'm very bad at skipping it.
Last year was like insane weather, so I kind of packed based on that. So it's my fault. Right, the TB.
There you go.
Gonna see what Molly's been up to.
Here, let me find the videos I posted on Instagram were showing it really well. Dude, there was also the videos of Guns N' Roses at fucking... Oh, man. If you thought he was bad at the Aussie show, these people had to hike through the trenches of a German mud field like they were in World War I. So you have to listen to this shit. Yeah. Fuck. Hopefully I don't get copyrighted, but it will be worth it. Let's do probably here. One sec. All right, no, I was on Instagram. My bad. Let me stop fucking around. This is a very professional show, everybody. If you couldn't tell. Was it? Where did it go? Because it was... Oh, here's a fucking mud pit of Vakken. This... Why are you flying around? Stop it. What? There, that's what Vakken was like this year. Where are they playing? Props to the metal people who can have fun in that. I am happy for you. I just can't do that. I would be having a miserable time. But if it doesn't rain at Vakken, it's a great time. So that's the problem. I can handle the mud, but how much sewage will be mixed in? I asked because I need a face peel. Yeah, a lot. A lot. That's the problem. It's not just mud. It's everything. The porta potties get mixed in, and then fucking disgusting drunk Europeans at festivals tend to just relieve themselves wherever they are. And Yeah, it seems fun and nice, and then you die of the bubonic plague in a couple weeks later. No, it'll probably be fine, but yeah. For people who don't know, I went to Vaca in 2011 and had an amazing time. It rained like very little. And then I went to Vaca in 2012 and it mostly rained and it was fucking miserable. And I saw some great performances, but it made me be like, I'm good. I like the Vacan team. There's nothing against them like professionally or anything. But if they could just build like a giant umbrella drone to put over the festival, I think it would work out. Ah, fuck. Vacan without mud is like barbecue without meat. That's the thing. Like some Europeans, some Germans like it. And like I said, good for you. I'm not hating on it. I just do not understand it. I am not going to participate. I'm not a massive pussy, but if like swimming in trenches of mud and shit for 4 days, it's rough. Kinky Sizemore says, fuck the mud. I'm curious as to what percentage is mud and what percentage is Goodalox. Exactly. And I think Goodalox is playing next year too, so that will be fucking perfect. That would probably make a exception for it. Wear a hazmat suit like they do and go into that show. I am not at all trying to talk anyone away from Vacan. I am just letting you know it rains horrendously there. Oh, the some of the Balkan bands. Some of my faves are Bombarder, a Serbian band, and Horror Picnic, who is a parody on metal but still cool as fuck. Most are underground since we are more famous for our punk scene than metal scene. Fuck, what the hell's wrong with my nose? I'll check out Bombarder and see what I can find for sure. I appreciate that. Thanks, man. You guys need to live on a farm. I mean, are you camping when you're on a farm? You have walls. Liz N says, your video all about Vacan made me actively start planning saving now 2 years ahead. Nice. Cool. I hope you have a fantastic time. I really do. Bingo. I have to assume Vacan isn't in the top 3 festivals for you. I mean, no, but that's not as like a fuck you to them, you know. My top 3, definitely Tolminator. Perhaps Soughton would make the list now. Legitimately, I think it probably would. And for ones I've been to, as much as I've had issues with how they've organized things in the past, I'd still put 70K just for the experience and what it is. But there's others I haven't been to. I really want to go to Brutal Assault. But my favorites might be someone else's least favorites. You know, some people are like, I'm not going to any of shit with a shower. That's sellout pussy shit. Real metal festivals don't have bathrooms. Projector says, to me, Vacan is a bucket list festival, but not necessary. There you go, yeah. When I was young, I saw Metal Headbanger's Journey, which portrayed Vacan as the mecca of metal, the #1 metal festival. So I had that dream of attending before I ever went. And very glad I went. Definitely happy to have crossed it off my bucket list. But for a while now, it hasn't been that much of a temptation where I'm like, oh, fuck, I need to go back. But I would like to. Ugh, fucking Christ. I promise I don't do drugs. I'm just sniffly today. Which one is the one in Slovenia? That is Tolminator. Check out that festival. Attend it if you can. It is amazing. Not just because my band played it. I loved it even before it was that festival, actually. We got... Best festival is when Wyatt goes to a festival and we can play with Rocket. I need to set up some type of like live stream or video of him while I'm gone. I'll pre-record a bunch of videos of him doing videos and be like he's covering for me while I'm out. Dylan, have you ever attended Maryland Death Fest? No, not yet. I'm hoping to attend next year. That's why I haven't done a video on it yet. Should we see what some of these topics were going to be? Oh, yeah, I did pull that up. Speaking of festivals. Get to fun announcements before we get to the Jerry Springer fights. Anthrax to perform on 2026 edition of 70,000 Tons of Metal. Public sales now. For those who don't know, this is the world's biggest heavy metal cruise. I've been on it several times. I have many videos on it. So if you want to get the full experience and see what it's like, they just announced Anthrax, which I was very happy about. Here's the whole lineup. We got Amorphous, Anthrax, Beast in Black. All right, I read these on a video. I'm not going to read them all again, but you can see it. We got one I was very excited about is Hyrax. Hyrax and Anthrax on the boat and Dust Bolt. Just the thing is 70K is largely melodic music. Mellow Death fans, power metal fans have a great time on this festival. But then they add in some really good thrash and brutal death there too. There's something for everybody. But an interesting thing about 70K is out of every festival that technically takes place in America, this one has the most European-centric lineup. You're not going to see these bands on most American festivals. So that's a big selling point of it too. Speaking of cruises, we brought up earlier the Helsinki cruise. Let me find that. Doug Cruz says, Anthrax are not my cup of tea. The cruise is kicking off Anthrax. Damn. Now, honestly, I know a lot of people say that out of the big four. People tend to not like them. Anthrax was my first metal band. They were the first band where when I heard them, I was like, this is what I'm about. So they always have that soft spot for me. But I hear that often from people who are posers. No, I'm kidding. I'm joking. If anyone's new to the channel, if you ever hear me say someone's a poser, it is completely sarcastic. I am not one of those idiots. What was I pulling up? Oh, the Helsinki cruise. Helsinki Metal Cruise. Where did it go? Damn it, where did that post go? Hold tight, I'm almost there. And all right, found it. The Helsinki Metal Cruise, hosted by the Helsinki Metal Festival, which just took place in Helsinki. Is this year, actually? Wait. Is this the right one? Or they announced some for... Oh, shit, Hellsaw's on it. Is this... Am I looking at the right one? Because I thought they announced for 2026. Let me see. Either way, I don't think this one has happened or is about to happen. Where is it? Fuck. Okay, no, I think this is the wrong one. I think they have one for 2026. Ah, goddamn. Wait for it. No, maybe this is the right one. Okay, it is this one. All right, my bad. We try to be accurate here. We don't just report whatever gossip we find with no context. Helsinki Metal Cruise this year has Covenant, Omnium Gatherum. That one. What the fuck does that say? Goth Minister. Crown Shift. Hellsot. Homies from this area. That's cool. This is not as big of a cruise as 70,000 tons of metal is. That's a big major liner. The ones here, yeah, Helsinki to Stockholm, that's like a 2-day voyage. It's a smaller boat, but still would be a fucking blast. I would love to do a Nordic cruise to see bands. We got the Covenant, those words, Cryptic Hatred, Habu Krunu, for shizzle, Horna. Yeah, Helsinki Metal Cruise. Cool. There's a bunch of other ones too. I did a video on... I tried to cover every rock metal cruise I could find in a video before. So if you haven't seen that, you can go check that out. Where are we? The only festival I go to is an underground festival in Norway that has no bathrooms. It's just a field where the instruments aren't even plugged in. That's right. That's right. True metal. True metal festival doesn't have any metal, only sticks. Yeah. The inaugural Helsinki Metal Cruise is setting sail aboard Viking Cinderella, and it's already being dubbed the Baltic Sea's loudest existential crisis. Alrighty then. Would love to go on the Sabaton cruise. That would be cool. Yeah, Sabaton have their own little one. Yeah, but it's only like 3 hours from Helsinki to Stockholm. Hardly qualifies as a cruise. God damn dumb. Yeah, that's the thing. Those ones there, they're smaller boats. I don't think people tend to usually hang outside since it's that part of the world. It's not really like a tanning thing, but it's a bunch of bands playing over the weekend, just going there and back. Don't know if you already talked about it, but there's also Nordic Metal Cruise, also going from Finland to Sweden. Yeah, I covered that in the video. I don't know if they have anything announced right now. We could look at that really quick. Let's see. Calling themselves the best cruise ever. We will see about that. The best cruise ever, 7th, 8th of February. Do they have anything announced? Bunch of Finnish words. I don't think they have any bands yet. But here, let's check the after movie. No. You're not going to get me kicked off YouTube. Yeah, like it's still very cool. It's not big luxury liner where people are sunbathing, going to the Caribbean. I think mostly people are inside, headbanging, hanging out, drinking, having a good time, being away from normal society and just enjoying some shows. We all enjoy being at metal concerts already. Now, what if those metal concerts were completely separated from the stupid normal people? Here you go. I think, I could be wrong, don't quote me on this, but some of these cruises do serve free alcohol. The Full Metal Cruise in Germany does. I don't know about any of these ones. I kind of think they would, because Finland's water supply is vodka. Yeah, but metal riverboat don't sound as cool. I beg to differ. Because that just gave me the idea of a little riverboat going down swamp area with like stoner and sludge bands and doom bands playing. I 100% think that would be awesome. Going straight through Gatorland. Can we put this in GTA 6? Can we do a Gator cruise? Seriously, I just came up with that idea and that sounds awesome. I'm not even that big of a fan of that subgenre, but that sounds cool. I had to check my caffeine before I fucking goes warm. That sounds badass. Hell yeah. Are you ever making a follow-up to Festival Disasters? Because there was one in Colombia that ended in a riot. Look up Jamming Festival 2022. I wasn't really thinking about it, but I could if enough people want me to. Unfortunately, I shouldn't be excited about making more festival disaster videos, but I mean, if there's more ones to report on. Metal River Voyage, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. I hate God headlines. You could fight gators and smoke weed and make moonshine. It'd be awesome. What else are we doing? We got... Let's jump to... Speaking of festivals, let me jump to the large American one very briefly here. I think this was announced a little bit ago, but Danny Wimmer announces massive upgrades for Bourbon and Beyond, plus Louder Than Life 2025. This is gonna be monstrous. Hold for dramatic effect. Festival producer Danny Wimmer, he basically does all of the massive festivals in America. Aftershock, Welcome to Rockville, Louder Than Life, all of those massive ones are done by him. And they announced some massive additions to Louder Than Life, which has a lot of bands playing. Where'd it go? I was looking for the lineup, but... All right, 1 sec, almost there. The 2025 festival site for Louder Than Life will offer more comfort and space than ever before. Enhancements include new shaded zones, something a lot of festivals avoid completely, expanded turf areas at main stages, increased general lawn chair capacity for the not metal one, second entrance to improve entry. These are all for Louder Than Life as well, right? Yeah. If this is added for Louder Than Life, that's pretty cool. One of the most exciting additions is free daily access to amusement park rides inside Kentucky Kingdom. So you could go see Slayer and Silly Goose and Unearth and jump on the roller coaster amusement park rides, which sounds awesome. Louder Than Life also adds a 7th stage inside the amusement park. There you go. So Silly Goose is playing in the amusement park if the singer's let out of jail. The singer for Silly Goose just got arrested on like a trespassing because their shows are silly. Hosting 12 artists, including X-Weapon X, Orthodox, Silly Goose, Unearth, and The Browning, further solidifying its reputation as America's loudest rock and metal festival. Bigger VIP areas, all that stuff. Anyone go to Louder Than Life? I think it's one of the festivals people were asking me to check out. I haven't been to yet. 7 stages, over 160 bands. Massive headliners this year include Slayer, Rob Zombie, Avenged Sevenfold, everyone else who's popular now or ever been popular. And Cypress Hill. I love when they have a random rap act on top of all the metal. But yet, Louder Than Life fans, it's getting even bigger. We need to go to Maryland and Hell's Heroes. Those are the ones that are top of my list, along with Tulminator. You promised drama. I'm here for the gossip. We're getting there. We're getting there. I'm getting the quick news segments out of the way, and then we can go to YouTuber slot. Sharon said, my boys were at Vakken. They said Ministry was awesome. Yeah, Hellsop played Vakken Mudfest this year. Looked like they had a good time. Looked like they had a good crowd, too, from what I saw their videos. What's the worst metal festival you've ever been to? Probably the first Sick New World. Because everything was just, like, the sound was complete shit to where the majority of the bands were complaining about it. Everything was just really a money cash grab. Too many bands crammed in one day where none of the sound was good. Did really well for my channel though, so I was happy about that. But in terms of quality, that was definitely the worst one. But just like everything in Vegas, it died early, so they don't need to worry about that. Reva says, as much shit as Danny Wimmer Fest get for being mainstream, they run their stuff well. Yes, this is true. And that's what I've always tried to tell people, is that the Danny Wimmer Festival in America are mainstream. They might have some death metal, but you're mostly going to get like Lorna Shore, Bad Omens, Iron Maiden here and there, Marilyn Manson, stuff like that, deathcore, the things that are considered popular in metal right now. There's not a problem with that. That's just mostly what it is. But I have heard from everyone who's been behind the scenes at those festivals that everything's run super well. There's no like scammy issues. The only issues you'll have at a Danny Wimmer festival are the typical, it will be hot, things will be expensive, but there's no scammy bullshit going on at all. What will you do when the Godzilla operation begins and it turns out Canada prepared King Kong to defend them? Watch and laugh. Let them fight. I fully support Canada fighting to defend themselves. Doesn't mean I'm going to stop. You have to play both sides. What are your thoughts on Ozfest coming back? Honestly, I don't think it's a bad idea. I think it's entirely up to the family, of course. I would understand if they wanted to and kept like the legacy of it, because in America, Ozfest was a peak for metal, honestly. It didn't compare to the metal festival scene in Europe and those, massive ones. But for a lot of Americans, Ozfest brought them into metal. So I would understand them wanting to bring it back and continue it for that. But at the same time, if they decided, no, we want to leave it to rest because it was Ozzy's thing, then I completely understand that too. So, I mean, the only way I'd really have a problem with it is if they like paraded out Ozzy's corpse and been like, no, it's still going, If they weekend to Ozzy him, that's the only way I'd have an issue with it. Besides that, either way, it's cool. Do you think Psycho Fest will ever come back? I hope so. I would love it to, but it's very up in the air if Vegas will come back at all at this point. For those who don't know, Vegas is dying because people can't afford it anymore. It costs a lot of money to go to Vegas and do drugs all weekend when your rent is now twice the price as getting an 8-ball of Coke in Vegas. You can't just run off for the weekend and have fun, So, no, it's a real thing that the Vegas industry is pretty much dying, but I would love it to come back because it was great. It was so fun. It was in the middle of a massive casino. So you had all the Vegas stuff there, and then there was a stage in the pool. That was one of my favorite stages I've ever seen. It had a great mix of bands with like black metal, death metal, and then Wu-Tang Clan, and then stuff like that. I hope so. I don't know. I think because it's so fucking expensive, I think that's why it's not coming back. I don't know why they didn't, or why they weren't allowed to have it at Mandalay Bay anymore. I know that Resorts World, where they went to after that, didn't like them and didn't want them to come back. And I think after that, I'm assuming, because I haven't been told from the inside or anything, but I'm assuming that it's probably hard to find a place at all, and then one that's even affordable to do that in the first place at this point. Because they got a lot of international bands too. I remember during COVID, they got super fucked. Kinky Sizemore says, man, I'd rather not see bands for 20 minutes at a time. That's what Sick New World was. Each band played 20-minute set, and they were all off. All of them sounded bad. Once Canada is invaded, who's the next target? I was wondering that earlier, and I think the best way to decide is to just go blindfolded and throw a dart at a map. That's the only way I'm going to decide on which countries to send Godzilla to. Because I want it to be completely random. It has to not make any sense. That's why it's funny. Let's see. Speaking of festivals, we did have a cool... Let's do this. Here, let me get your ad out of my face, please. And then Wardruna donates $14,000 to Blackfeet Nation's Firekeeper Alliance after Fire in the Mountains Festival. Please hold while I drink this because it's starting to get warm. It's going to be really gross if I don't finish it. Here, let's play it. Let's do... Hang on, I'm thinking. I need a quick distraction. Everyone, prepare for the heaviest, the most badass breakdown of all time. Thanks to the one and only Gun Drummer. Thank you. That was your intermission. Anyway, Wardruna donates $14,000 to the Blackfeet Nation. Fire in the Mountains was a metal festival that just took place recently in the Blackfeet Nation. I think it was in Montana. It was a very unique festival. Those who went say that it's unlike any other festival they've been to because it was not just about metal. It was about nature and the environment and about supporting mental health and kind of those type of issues. Let me just read. Wardruna has donated over $14,000 to Firekeeper Alliance, a nonprofit organization supporting indigenous communities and suicide prevention efforts in Browning, Montana. It makes us profoundly happy and proud to see that the Wardruna community all over the world responded with genuine desire to support the Firekeeper Alliance. I guess it was a special t-shirt they did. Do you have a video of it? Because it would be cool. No, just ads. Cool. Thanks. Metal journalism is great. We're going to get to that a lot more later. I'm pulling up a video so you guys can see Fire in the Mountains. I hope it happens again. It's a very unique and interesting festival because it was large. They had some metal bands, like they had Old Man's Child play, Blood Incantation, I think a couple others I'm forgetting. But then they had a lot of like native folk. Oh, and also it was a metal festival that apparently did not allow alcohol. That was advertised beforehand. Hopefully no one showed up and was surprised. But that is because of it was on native land and because of suicide prevention. Do we have, oh, here we go. Oh, yeah, that's the lineup. Did anyone go recently with a video? Come on. I thought I saw a recap video somewhere. Maybe not. Oh, Converge played too. Let's see. Well, here's an ad from when before it happened, but just so you guys can get the idea. If anyone attended Fire in the Mountains, I would love to hear how it was. I would have liked to, but you know, there's life things going on. Let's play it without the music, but excellent location in terms of environment. Apparently it's pretty hard to get to, understandably so. But some could say it's a sort of a hippie metal festival in a way. No, it's better than hippies stuff, but very nature, death metal, grinding blast beats. Good for them. And then it will show the lineup. Hopefully, maybe not. No, okay, bye. Yeah, anyway, shout out to Fire in the Mountains for that. Shout out to Wardruna for that. Metal powwow, exactly. So it smells bad, exactly. You're not wrong. I don't know if the only shower there is the river, but it might be. I love Blood Incantation, the answer to the question, what if death metal but aliens? Back in my day, that was hypocrisy. But that's cool too. I guess I'm just old. Viking says, holy shit, an M82 drum mag for the gun drummer clip. Yeah, dude. He has 2 of those. He posts videos of him firing at the same time. I'm like, holy shit. If you haven't checked out Gun Drummer, I highly recommend. Great dude. Yeah, projector muted due to copyright. That's why you couldn't hear it. You should see the comments I got on my watch along I did for Ozzy's final show. So I think I talked about it before, but go look at the comments there. It is quite literally, I'm not exaggerating, the stupidest creatures on the planet are in that comment section. It's full of people saying, what the fuck, you're a scammer because you didn't show any of this copyrighted footage. When I put in the description right away, I can't show it due to copyright, blame Sharon. That was by far my most successful live stream ever. So, most people understood what it was and had a great time. But after it was over, it was obviously people who didn't watch the concert thought that it was me showing the entire thing. And I totally understand if someone may have thought that at first and then clicked on it and then saw like, oh, he's not showing it. Okay. And then clicked out of it. But it's loaded with people saying, you're a fucking scammer, piece of shit. It is hilarious. Anyway, would you listen to the band I recommended right now? Are they copyrighted? That's the only reason why I would be. I mean, they're probably small, maybe not. So I probably could. Let's see. Off topic, but you have nice skin. Thank you. I appreciate that. It's probably my camera not being great quality. Xander says, yo, Wyatt, will you ever come to Vakken again? I'm going next year for the first time. I would love to. It's definitely not like a no, I'm not going ever, but I don't have plans to at the moment, but I would like to. Hang on, where did that band name go? Get into it. This is just. Can you type the band name in again? Because the comments went by way too fast. Oh, there it is. All right. Let's check out Bombarder, and then we're going to get into more of the stuff. People want drama. That's what they're all tuned in for. People talk about how they're better than drama, and you have to go outside and touch grass, and then they hear someone talk about drama. They're like, oh, shit. I got to make my reaction video before I learn any of the context at all. Bombarder. Right? Where we go? Let's see what we can find. Type in metal. It looks like some other weird shit will come up. That's not what I typed in at all. Okay. I typed in Bombarder, and the search changed to Bomber Metal Drill, and the first picture was some, like, Xanax rapper with a gun, and okay. I did not type that. I've said before, I hate fucking spell check online. You'll start talking like best chicken recipe, and you'll misspell one letter, and we'll go the Declaration of Independence. Metal. Don't fucking pull up random weird shit. Is it Bombarder speed metal? I'm gonna assume. Yep, Bosnia. All right. I'm assuming I won't get a copyright for this, so let's check it out. Or you could just change the random shit. Whatever. Thanks, Skynet. Computers. Technology. Future. All right, let's check out Bombarder for a minute here, and then we got quick news and drama. Old as fuck. I like it. That's definitely my type of style of grinding. It sounds like what the Icelanders like. Rocket, however, is not impressed. He's like, what? This isn't hateful black metal? That. I dig that. Bombarder gets a thumbs up from Wyatt's Metal, savior of metal. Stream dies due to copyright. I'm gonna get an email in Bosnian. Oh, I did scare Rocket off. I'm sorry. Other news. Oh, I thought this was interesting. Because people... All right. Yeah. I know Australia doesn't tend to get a whole lot of shows. And then for some reason, when I was checking metal news sites today, multiple bands, lots of bands announced shows in Australia, like all back to back. And I noticed it because it was interesting. So Australians, if anyone's watching from down under, you have things to look forward to, actually. Tool, Weezer, Lorna Shore, and more added to Good Things Festival 2025. We've got Garbage, All-Time Low, Metal as Fuck. Metal bands, we got Machine Head, Knocked Loose, if you consider that metal or hard, whatever. I'm not going to argue semantics here. Lorna Shore, Refused. Kubla Khan, Goldfinger, not metal, but I like Goldfinger more than a bunch of those bands. Gwar, Wargasm, more stuff. Anyway, there you go. Happening in Melbourne, Sydney, and Brisbane in December. Sunny December in Australia. But apart from that, there were others too. Nailbomb, Soulfly, and Snot announce Australian shows around the Froth and Fury Festival. I guess it's another festival there. Oh, look, ads. The only thing keeping these bullshit websites going. If you're a fan of whatever. Soulfly, Nailbomb at Froth and Fury festivals. And then around it at other places in Australia. We got Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane, Perth. I have not been to Australia yet. I definitely will at some point. It's on my bucket list to box a kangaroo. That is one of my favorite videos ever. The video of the kangaroos like strangling a dog and the guy runs up and then just like stares at him and he smacks it in the face. And the kangaroo's just it's one of the funniest fucking things I've ever seen. That's why I would go to Australia. I hear that's like their pastime or something. But then also for big mainstream fans, Linkin Park announced its first Australian tour since 2013, happening next year. L. Ron Hubbard Park, as some people like to call them. No idea who started that. They're playing fucking a lot of places, but they're also playing Down Under. So there you go. Australian fans, you got stuff to look forward to. At this point, Australia probably gets more shows than Florida does. Next target, Australia. Maybe. It's not off the list, but that would be a weird spin-off where a giant spider monster comes to fight. Or no, giant kangaroo. Godzilla versus giant kangaroo. Other quick news we had. Yeah. The fuck? Acid Bath announces their biggest show ever at New Orleans Lakefront Arena with Mastodon, Power Trip, and more. A lot of people really stoked about the Acid Bath return. I'm glad they kept going besides Sick New World, because it seems like it was kind of based around Sick New World, because that was their first announcement for a show. And since that didn't happen, I know like Tomahawk was going to do shows and now either didn't or aren't going to. So I'm glad that Acid Bath kept it going. Where's Acid Bath on the... Are they playing over Mastodon? That's fine. I'm curious. Metal Injection does such a good job at showing all the fucking details. I think so. Wait for it. Drum roll, please. Yeah, Acid Bath, Mastodon, Power Trip, Amigo the Devil, Soylent Green, Suplex. Damn. That's a pretty fucking good show. For New Orleans, that's probably going to be packed, actually. How much is floor? $245 to see Acid Bath? That's kind of a lot. Are those resales by other people, or are those not even on sale yet? Would you guys pay like $300 to see Acid Bath? What does the audience say? Yikes. Killer lineup. It is. Way too expensive. Yeah, no. It's a little pricey. I mean, awesome for them, but yeah. I would pay $100. That's more reasonable for sure. I'd rather just see him at a festival and see way more bands. That's the type of mindset I usually have. Is that I'd rather get way more bang for my buck that way. What else do we have to cover here? Are we going to drama now? Should we go to drama now? Yeah, where do we start? Fuck. Let's do... Actually, we got a video to react to. It's like soft drama, and then we'll lead into the fun drama. How about that? But we have a video from Rockfeed. Some people here are big fans. I like Rockfeed. I think he's a good dude. About this Marilyn Manson boycott in Mexico. And the story is less interesting because Marilyn Manson got boycotted. That happens on every day that ends in Y. Not a big deal. But the reason behind this show happening I actually thought was very interesting. So let's share this for a bit. And then we'll go into other drama.
Despite significant pushback and protests from various groups, Marilyn Manson took the stage in San Luis Potosi, Mexico on Sunday to perform for a massive free festival. The controversial rocker's headline show at the annual state fair drew an enormous crowd, with organizers reporting 205,000 people in attendance. Wow. Now, the decision to book Manson,
probably the biggest crowd Manson's played to in quite a while,
came directly from the state's governor, Ricardo Gallardo Cardona, who publicly defended the move as a defense of freedom of expression and an act of cultural justice in the face of widespread criticism. The whole situation is very interesting. On one side, you have religious groups calling Manson's performance inappropriate for a family-friendly festival. And on the other, you have the governor of the state, a man known for his love of regional Mexican music, championing one of rock's most controversial figures. The pushback.
So Manson was not only supported by the governor of this state in Mexico, he was personally asked by him. This is what, maybe one of the first politicians to ever super back Manson. Doing it way too late. Nice of you to finally catch up. Manson drama was popular like 20 years ago.
But the show went on, creating this unique scene of a government-endorsed Marilyn Manson concert that turned into one of the biggest shows of his recent career. But the real story here isn't just that the concert happened, it's why it happened. Why would a Mexican governor go to bat for Marilyn Manson, given all of the controversy that surrounded him in recent years? The answer is a lot more complicated than you'd think. And it has roots.
Mexico has bigger problems, that's why.
Roots in a cultural battle that started in the exact same state decades ago. Before the show even began, the tension was obvious. Protesters were demanding the concert be canceled, something we've seen elsewhere. And one conservative association gathered about 6,000 signatures on a petition to get the event shut down. In a more dramatic move,
So the petition to get him canceled from it was 6,000 people, and then 200,000 showed up. Holy shit. Is this the most successful Manson show ever? It might be. Wyatt, Manson drama was nearly 30 years ago, not 20. My bad. Where were we?
His head was reportedly placed in front of the Metropolitan Cathedral of San Luis Potosi, a clear and symbolic act of protest against Manson's performance. But the fans showed up in force. Hours before the show, massive lines of people, many dressed in black with makeup mimicking Manson's, snaked around the entrances to the venue. The crowd wasn't just filled with locals either. People traveled from all throughout Mexico and even other parts of Latin America for this free event. By the time Manson hit the stage, the place was packed with a frenzied audience that cheered for hits like The Beautiful People and Sweet Dreams. It begs the question,
thank you. Bruh. This is not the most flattering picture of Manson, is all I will say.
Can a performance be supposedly so controversial, yet so massively...
Is that the fucking... Yeah, yes it is. Yes, it Yes, it is.
...popular at the same time? To understand what happened here, we have to go back 35 years to 1989. Another legendary band, Black Sabbath, was scheduled to play in San Luis Potosi, but local authorities blocked the concert at the last minute, closing the stadium and leaving thousands of fans outside. The official reason given at the time was that the band promoted Satanism and anti-values. That event left a scar on the state's cultural scene, and
to prove we don't bring Satanism here, we're going to bring Manson.
It's the key to understanding the decision-making of the current governor, Ricardo Gallardo Cardona. He's a charismatic 44-year-old politician who is known for his love of traditional Mexican music, which makes his choice to book Manson seem even more out of left field.
Fuck no, it doesn't. I would see a co-headline tour of Manson and Molotov together. That would be sick.
In his view, this wasn't just about booking a massive rock band. It was about correcting a historical wrong. In a new interview with Billboard Espanol, the governor laid out his reasoning. He said he booked Manson as a defense of freedom of expression and with the goal of helping his state overcome a cultural lag that has kept major international acts away for decades, largely to what he calls conservative mindsets. And he directly referenced the history of...
Wait, hang on. Carmen says, I have to say Latin American fans are fucking dedicated. I've said before, they might be the most like passionate super dedicated. You see the shows there, fucking insane.
Censorship in the state. He said, there will always be opposing voices. And Marilyn Manson has faced them not just in Mexico, but in other parts of the world too. But if he's already performed in Rome, the cradle of Catholicism, why wouldn't he perform in San Luis Potosi? He finished with a powerful statement saying,
Don't be a poser.
This isn't about religion. It's about cultural justice, about creating unity. And we must do it through music. He also...
There you go. Yes, I just thought that was a very interesting story. You think it's just going to be a typical, dumb people protesting. But that whole history behind it, bringing them in because of we owed a debt to the metalheads, basically. We said we get them Sabbath, we couldn't do it, so we'll bring in Manson. I thought that was cool. Anti-values in Mexico. There you go. Honestly, the satanic stuff in metal was cool when it was starting, but as time went on, it became more corny and stupid, at least in my opinion. Yeah, it's kind of a combination of just time itself and then social media playing a part in it. You know, you can see behind the scenes of these artists a lot more. And then also just you yourself maturing. You know, when I was like 16, I thought the black metal scene was so mysterious and dark and dramatic. And now I see it as like a bunch of dorks in makeup, you know? Who is ready for some drama? All right, let's get into the fun drama portion of the show. I should have had some like funny intro thing to do it. You know, we'll do it like this. We're going to now get into drama. These are a series of people who need to repent. We should repent. Anyway, so we got several things to cover. Fucking, there's Mastodon drama. There is Ronnie Radke drama. There is Slaughter to Prevail drama. I think there's others. What the fuck else is there? Yeah, there's some drama with me or with people responding to my channel. Not really, but let's get to Mastodon first. So, as some people know, there's been drama in the Mastodon camp. Brent Hinds left the band, and the band's official statement was like, we support him, good for him. We just decided to part ways. And then Brent Hinds was like, nah, fuck those guys, basically. As someone who's never been really invested in the band, I don't have much of an opinion either way. Oh, look, ads. Thank you. Fuck off. No, I don't have ad blocker. People have asked that before. Brent Hinds supposedly takes an even more personal shot at former Mastodon bandmates. Only I know who they really are. I know who you are! Hopefully Metal Injection does a recap. Knowing them, probably not. After 25 years, the founding guitarist and vocalist had mutually decided to part ways with Mastodon, and then he kept talking shit online. So the band's official statement, friends and fans, after 25 monumental years together, Mastodon and Brent Hinds have mutually decided to part ways. We're deeply proud of and beyond and grateful for the music and history, yada, yada, yada. About a week after it was announced Hinds was leaving Mastodon. Where'd it go? Get to the drama. Finally. Then in late June, Hinds made headlines when he finally made a public comment about the split for the first time. Even despite his passive-aggressive jabs here and there, it wasn't what people expected. Yeah, it was just some comment that someone said, I'll miss seeing you in the band. And Brett responded saying, I won't miss being in a shit band with horrible humans. And that's all anyone heard for a while. A little bit different than we decided to mutually part ways. After that once-off comment, Hinds kept relatively to himself until yesterday, when a photo reportedly surfaced that was screenshots that Hinds had left on another Instagram post. Hinds had said, "My guitar sounds great, but Troy and Prawn sound absolutely horrible. They are way out of key, embarrassing, and they kicked me out of the band for embarrassing them for being who I am. But what about who they are? They are two people that can't sing, together live or anywhere else in the world. Everything they try to sing in the studio is manipulated by autotune because they're incapable of singing in key. Fuck these guys. Only I know who they really are. They are the biggest fans of themselves. I've never seen anyone in my life look in the mirror more than Troy Sanders. He thinks he's God's gift to anything. I've never met three people that were so full of themselves. It's disgusting." Damn, shots fired. Shots fired. But there was a response already from one of the members of the band. They're taking little pot shots at each other online. What does anyone think about that, first of all? Brent Hinds didn't just leave Mastodon. He torched the bridge, played a solo on it, and then insulted the Echo. Well, fuck you. Mastodon, good luck, buddy. Brett, I hope you get eaten by worms. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know enough about this band to be able to tell, like, if the guys were secretly dickheads and he only knows who they are, or if he's just having some, like, super meltdown right now. I am not sure. It's not drama if there's no trauma. I like the rhyme. He needs to join Megadeth. That's funny. Sounds like a little whiny bitch to me. Maybe, I don't know. Brett sounds like he's drunk. Quite possibly. It doesn't usually... Usually, sober, stable people don't tend to type in that type of way. But I don't know. Who's ready for the court of public opinion? But aside from that, there was a response. Brand Daler fires back at Brent Hinds' accusation that nobody in Mastodon can sing live. Things are starting to get just a little heated, because that's the only way to stay in the news nowadays. Let me just go straight to it. Fuck off. Yeah, I posted a clip of them, I think at Hellfest. Said, sounds in key to me. Can we just get to the actual video, please? Why are you so bad at your job? Just put the video in the article. Or put the link to the video. Fucking Christ. Okay. I'm looking for it. I don't know if I can even find it. All right, well, just take my word for it. Yes. Yeah, so just some pot shots back and forth. The rest of the drama is more fun. Let's do... Brand is the best singer in Mastodon. Brett is Wilden. At Ozzy's final show, when they did their cover, the drummer was doing vocals and you couldn't hear him at all until a little bit in. And that gives me the impression that he would actually be singing live in some type of way. Otherwise, it would have just been playing the whole time. Brand Daler's response to Brent Hinds' Scorched Earth tirade, a masterclass in subtle shade, equal parts drummer precision and Southern gentleman sass. There you go. In other news, the first drama we'll get to recently There it is. So many festivals announced lineups for next year, one of which being Bloodstock Open Air. And one of their headliners, as you can see, is Slaughter to Prevail, a very controversial band for really stupid reasons. Many people are really not happy that Slaughter to Prevail are playing at all, let alone headlining. And let's make fun of that a little bit. So, for those who don't know, my personal opinion on Slaughter to Prevail, I think they're on the better side of mid. They're not a band that I listen to on my own ever. They have one song, I think it's Demolisher, that I'd be like, this is a solid 6 song. The rest of it's like pretty good, but not up my alley that much. I think the drama around them is dumb. But people who are online, who probably weren't going to go in the first place, it's already been selling out well. We're saying things like, Slaughter to Prevail are one of the worst bands I've ever seen live. The sound was atrocious. The set was short. They played the intro to Blade for about 10 minutes. I don't know what the fuck he's talking. Do they do that? I saw them once at Milwaukee Metal Fest, and they did not do that. Lots of guitar playing was coming through a backing track. I don't think that's true. I'm going to be straight up. Even if you ignore their history, there's no way they deserve to be headlining alongside legendary bands like Lamb of God and Priest. Here's the main part. It's like someone says, I have always felt safe as a queer, non-binary person at Bloodstock Open Air. I will be avoiding next year as I will not be safe with the crowd that Slaughter to Prevail will attract. I'm disappointed. And you get floods of comments like this telling them that they should be canceled off the festival. How could they book a Nazi to perform? How could they book a transphobe to perform right before? So yeah, people were commenting saying, how can you have Slaughter to Prevail the day before Judas Priest with the most LGBT metalhead out there? Really disappointed Slaughter to Prevail. I thought Bloodstock was an inclusive festival for everyone, and now you've got a known transphobe headlining. And then I got blowback on my channel a bit, jumping into the other one. I noticed recently that Banger TV, the metal YouTube channel run by Sam Dunn of Metal Headbanger's Journey, and he has a bunch of people who do like reviews and stuff for albums, and they did a review of Slaughter to Prevail's latest album, and they gave it a positive review. And I saw that the comments were flooded with people saying, how could you make a video on this Nazi band? How could you make a video on this transphobic band? You're supporting them, blah, 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 blah. And I noticed at first that the guy who made the video, who's in it, did the review, was defending it, just saying they're not Nazis. Alex is cool. I like the band. That's pretty much all he was doing for the most part. He was saying that he thinks they count as good because they're popular. So you can argue that, but anyway, what was I saying? So at first he was defending it, and then I'm certain that it was not his decision, so I'm not shitting on this guy at all. But I noticed that Banger TV ended up deleting the review because they were getting such a blowback of comments from people saying Nazi band, yada, yada, yada. Now, I thought that was ridiculous, so I posted a picture of it on YouTube saying that how funny it is to be metal and independent and not give a shit what people think and then delete your opinion because people were giving blowback. But so, for the Alex Terrible drama, I wanted to go over a bit of it quickly because I think it's absurd. Where the fuck am I? Okay, god damn it. Now, let's get to the Nazi claim. Actually, wait, before I get to that, this is the Bloodstock Festival when they announced the bands.
So we're announcing 25 bands! So we're going to play your video. You ready? Roll it in!
Did you hear the difference? There's a noticeable Slaughter Prevail got announced, and it was like, Anyway, so the tattoo controversy, I think a lot of people already know already. Alex the Terrible used to have a black sun tattoo somewhere on his like arm or something, I don't think, when he was a stupid little teenager in Russia. And for that, people call him a adamant neo-Nazi of today, spreading the word of Hitler and Putin, because that makes sense. Let me pull up a video. So Alex Terrible had that tattoo. He says that he ran with a stupid crowd of like far right would be considered in Russia. Politics are a bit different in that area when he was younger. He got the tattoo covered up after one, because he did say at first it was because people were giving him blowback, and he was like, it is kind of a bad look. But then as he went on, he was like, this is actually stupid. I don't actually believe in this. So the tattoo's been covered up for a decade. It was covered up before the band got huge. It's not like he has the tattoo now. It's not like he's doing like, Elon salutes on stage or anything. Alex Terrible Nazi. That will be a healthy YouTube search. But where does he talk about it? Probably should have pulled these up before. Here we go. All right. Some people, for some reason, think that he's an adamant Nazi, but here is Alex Terrible himself talking about such claims.
Okay, so
for those who don't know, this man is a cuck. That's it.
I want to ask about this too, is that people try to like paint you as having like a far right background or having kind of that in terms of like, I guess there was like a tattoo and like people try to make it out like you were down with some racist dudes at a certain point.
No, yeah.
Is that kind of exaggerated, or was that something that you had like a brief time period in your life?
So you're talking about the Black Sun?
Yeah.
Because
there's a lot. Metal is like a political battlefield. There's extremely far left people and extremely far right people.
Something about gay people or whatever.
Right.
And I think both are allowed. I think metalheads can be not into politics. I think they can be far left. I think they can be far right, and anywhere in between. Metal is not. If one is allowed, then both are allowed. I really liked, even though I'm not really a fan of either band, I liked when I went to Aftershock and I saw this band, Moonshine Bandits, who were a straight honky-tonk, yeehaw boy America band. And then right after them were Zulu, hardcore leftists, as they admit. And I like when that type of shit is allowed.
They start to attack me bad. I'm not against gay people or whatever. I don't give a shit.
Right.
I just don't give a shit. And this is it's not my deal, But at the same time, I was talking about children or whatever, because I saw some videos, people wanking off on the street or like doing some crazy stuff, and just fucking kids watch this shit. And I was like, dude, this is wrong, And for one side, for another side, this is not my business, and I'm gonna raise my kids however I want.
Someone told me this scar was a far right dog whistle. I'm like, no, it's a stupid strongman thing. I've had friends do it.
And I will teach him how to live this life, so they go outside of the house, go to society, and they will stick with my morals and points of views and all this shit, but not fight with another fucking opinions and morals and whatever people believe. So this is my point of view. But about this racist shit, I never been racist actually. In Russia, it was like huge fucking like not fashion but wave of right-wing guys, because we had this hard times with the people from the another regions, poor people from the mountains. Actually, my wife, Nazi, she's from Caucasian region. So from these Caucasian regions, from the poor fucking small villages, people start to come to the big cities, for example, for Yekaterinburg, for Moscow.
I'm not saying he's a skinhead, he's bald as shit.
And they start to do like gang shit, like fucking like dirty stuff, you know? And they screaming, hey, yeah, we're from mountains, blah, blah, being fucking crazy. And like people, Slavic people, like white people, you know, they start to realize like, what the fuck is going on? I don't like this. And they start to being a part of right wing, you know, like, hey, we're gonna fuck you up. And I was like, hang out with these guys, you know, because they hit gym, they hit MMA gym, they read books, they fucking like doing all this shit, you know. And right time,
the way he's putting it, it's sort of less of about like the ideals that they were preaching, and more it's kind of like a gang where people in ghettos of America, they tend to fall into street gangs because they don't really have much else as to kind of a guiding path and outlet for them. That seems to be what he's saying is how he fell into it here when he was younger.
Before I was like almost died because of the drugs.
So right after the drugs bit, yeah.
So I switched from this fucking being stupid and stuff like this, switched to like radical, being fucking tough guy, go to the gym, hey, fight for your rights and all this stuff, you know? So I was hanging out with these guys, and these guys obviously was a right-wing guys, but it's not like Nazis or fucking racists. They just fucking do this stuff, like right stuff, you know? Some of them being fucking racist or
right stuff, like working out. That's basically, that's what he said.
This shit, I don't give a fuck.
But like Americans are so they're so concerned with racism that they're gonna be like, listen,
I understand why.
We're not from.
We know full well that Adam here is not racist in any way. He's quite comfortable.
Your fucking country, but we found a Wikipedia article about this tattoo, and so now we are convinced that we know everything about everything that you ever believed in your entire life. And it's
fair enough to them, you know. I don't judge people. I don't give a shit. But I had this fucking tattoo, Black Sun, you know, because I was reading about this esoteric and fucking philosophy stuff. But to be honest, this is right.
Dude, I had this fucking retard in the comment that I put, the clip about Banger TV deleting their thing. Someone asked what the Nazi allegation was. I said that it was a black sun tattoo, a symbol used by more esoteric Nazis. And this retard went off thinking that me saying esoteric meant I was downplaying Nazism, being like, he seemed to think esoteric meant not really kind of Nazi. I'm like, no, it meant some Nazis were more into a cult, some weren't. And he could not understand that. Or he chose not to understand that.
Fucking Third Reich symbol, you know, like this fucking Hitler's fucking company.
He took it, right? Because
he took
like
it,
pagan.
Who cares?
Yeah.
With these symbols, people go, fuck my people, like Russian people, you know, we fought against this shit.
They beat him.
But anyway, I did this stuff and I was like, okay, right now I'm a tough guy. You know what I mean? Like stupid teenager stuff. But I
can't believe the guy with a self-inflicted scar on his face would do stupid tough guy shit.
Like paid this price because I got canceled and after that, I was like, okay, guys, I will cover it up. Okay. You know, I was afraid of all of this shit, losing my career and stuff. But then after like maybe 3 years, 4 years, I'm like, realize, okay, I actually was stupid, you know? And I just, you know, like, I grew up, you know, and it was like in my stupid past. But right now, people are saying I'm like still Nazi. I'm like, he's hiding, he's not Nazi. I don't give a shit, dude, because this is the price I'm paying still, you know.
Having every aspect of your life before you were
Exactly.
famous analyzed and put under the
And
microscope.
people doesn't give a shit about my excuses, and it's fair enough.
Right.
And actually, the tattoo is not like it was from like 1 year ago. This is like 10 years ago. Like that is since it got covered up. I mean, you know,
Right.
so it's not even like.
And it's not about
No.
even tattoos. It's about my fucking, you know, like attitude right now because it's changed a lot. It's changed a fucking a lot, but I cannot prove it.
It would be really hard to be in a band as big as he is, touring the world, playing to that many people, with that many people involved if you were a Nazi. If you were refusing to work with others, you know?
How can I prove it? So I don't give a
I could agree with people saying, you know, the tattoo is stupid. I'm not being like, no, it was a great tattoo. It was awesome. You should have kept. No, I'm not saying that at all. I agree it was a stupid tattoo. He seems to agree it was a stupid tattoo. That, like he said, wasn't covered up, you know, yesterday. And I think he did admit that he got it covered up at first because people were harping on him for it. But then after a while, he was like, no, it was stupid. Is that enough reason to keep calling him a Nazi? I don't think so.
Shit. Yeah.
It's not like he's on stage, you know, doing that stuff.
Because to me, it's like, even if I knew that you were actually a Nazi 10 years ago, it's like, well, I understand that that's interesting. But if you're going to sit here and tell me like, yeah, that was part of my past and I'm not anymore, I'm going to say, okay, like, who gives a fuck? Like, people are allowed to change.
Just in case people are wondering, Adam's retarded.
Like, I'm not going to hold that against somebody.
Somebody thinks it's just a fucking mark on your life. You will not change at all.
Right.
You just
which is the worst possible way to view it.
Okay.
Like there's.
And I think it's an important thing to point out that some people get tattoos because they have a lot of deep personal meaning to them. Some people get tattoos like they're stickers. Like they go out and just thought of this cool thing. All right, I have a spot here and we get it done. He is extremely heavily tattooed, so it's not a hard guess to go to that. Like you see Rob Halford, his tattoos, it's very clear. He just kind of picks at random whatever the fuck is available.
No forgiveness. There's no change.
Like you're not allowed to grow as a person. And you was like 19.
Something like that.
Yeah. So it's like, I don't know.
Definitely.
That's just stupid.
Listen, in the BMX scene, there was a lot of Iron Cross t-shirts and stuff. And I'm very thankful that some of the photos of me wearing Iron Crosses on my t-shirt never made it to the internet. Because to us in like the late 90s, that was just like a regular, there was like a bike company and that was their logo.
Yeah.
And it's like, I've thought about that before. Like, Jesus Christ, people would try to paint me as a fucking neo-Nazi if they saw that shit now.
Yeah. But the culture changes so fast. How are you meant to ever foresee?
If you know anything about Adam, you know it's not possible for him to be a neo-Nazi. Lots of jokes that if you don't understand them, don't look into them.
Like maybe something right now and everything seems fine that in 5.
Wait, fuck, I hit the wrong. All right.
Okay, so I want.
All right, you got the point. But so that is the Nazi claim there, basically. Let's see what the chat thinks. Forgiveness is a metal value. I do think you'll have a tough time if you only listen to bands who every single member is a patron saint who's never done anything wrong. I don't think that you can't have your own personal thing against a band. You know, if you think Alex Terrible is a dick, you don't have to like him. I am not telling people you have to like him or his music. If you're like, I've never responded to a comment where someone goes, I think their music sucks. And I'm like, nah, fuck you. Like, no, that's an opinion. But the thing I think is ridiculous is all the slander and claims going around, like people commenting on Bloodstock. How are you going to allow this Nazi neo-fascist gathering at Bloodstock this year? People keep commenting. Spencer Charnas from Einstein Kills is the hottest dude ever. Okay. All right. Nazis use the Iron Cross, so did the Prussians, so did various military, so did bikers, so does Germany currently. And I've seen fire departments use Iron Cross. That's true. Yeah, I didn't even think about that until you mentioned it. That one I think is way more arguable. Like the swastika, obviously, that's like a clear, they stole that too, but that's obviously not a guess what that is unless you're in India or something. I actually had a job at a cannabis dispensary like 10 years ago where there were banners that were like Indian portraits, and one of them had like the actual legitimate before Nazi swastika on it. It was always funny to see. But anyway, it's like that's like super ultra clear, obviously Nazi symbol. The black sun is like a little bit underneath it to where it's still like, yeah. And I think the Iron Cross is below that to where it's more. That wouldn't be an immediate red flag, but it'd be if other things line up, then you might be like, you know what I mean? Yeah, it is one of my opinions on people claiming Nazi this, Nazi that everywhere nowadays is it's so ironic to me that in times immediately after the World War, you could make Nazi jokes all you wanted. The Producers by Mel Brooks, one of the fucking greatest comedies ever, is just making fun of Nazis so much. And I wonder if people would argue against it now because people might think it's promoting it or something. And then all the metal bands who've used it as symbols and stuff too. I will say I do think there's a difference between using like an Iron Cross on stage or an album cover to look cool and then getting a tattoo of it. But since he's already talked about it and apologized for it and everything, if he was still defending it, that would be different. When Destroyer 666 is currently still throwing things that look extremely close to Zig Heil's, I'm not going to argue against that one. I understand being mad at that. I mean, I'm not defending that one. But what's the transphobe allegation? Try to pull that up in a second. But I think it was just, if I remember correctly, I will pull it up here in a sec. I think it was just when the trans surgeries for kids was like really hype in America going on, and he said that he didn't agree with that. That was it. That's it. As far as I remember, I don't think he ever said anything like, yeah, let's go hunting transes or anything. And I gotta say, for a Russian man who looks like that to not just go, yeah, fuck gay people, says a lot. He's very progressive compared to many other ones out there. Yeah, an Iron Cross tattoo might mean you're about that far right life. Close, but like not as much as, like a blatant swastika or something. But I'm not saying you're wrong. But it's not like a straight, swastika on the forehead. Let's fucking go. But Dylan says, yeah, that's literally all he said. It was pretty respectful, I thought. Let me try to find that clip just so I don't misinterpret anything. And I'll say right now, I think a lot of people who hate on Alex Terrible for being a Nazi wouldn't at all if they didn't think that he was a transphobe. They hate Ronnie Radke a lot more than they hate Alex Terrible because they think he's more transphobic. I am not, I'm not commenting on trans people. I'm not hating on trans people. I am commenting on what these fools have actually said. If he was like, yeah, on our days off, we go drive around hunting them, I'll tell you. Don't worry. But as far as I know, he didn't. Let me see if I can find it really quick. I don't want to watch some shaved head person's video on it. I want to see what he said about it. Maybe, is it this one? Some people say that Slaughter's Prevail is a Russian plant and Russian propaganda too, and a video just popped up. Alex Terrible on the Russian government shutting down his shows. Let me see what it is first before. If anyone can tell me where to find the exact clip of him saying it, I'll do that. I think this one is about the tattoo. If we're trying to find that one specifically. Slaughter Prevail is way too big of a band to play anywhere in the West if he hated gay and trans people. He'd like only be playing on the Russian side of the front line. Damn. All right, let me see him. That's what he said. I'm gonna take your word for it. I hate propaganda in any form, especially when they're trying to brainwash children. I consider it a crime. Children absorb everything like sponges and do not realize until they are of conscious age. Yeah. That applies to fucking everything. You can say the same for the Black Sun tattoo. But yeah, so, I mean, if you want to fucking consider that transphobic, whatever. He did not say he hates gay people, nothing like that. I hope that at Bloodstock he takes a picture with Rob Halford and everyone just loses their fucking minds. That would be great. He even said that if you're an adult, he doesn't give a shit. Yeah. Is that... I just want to make sure it's the right video and not fucking up, but let's see. Is it the Garza podcast? He's talking about not following weak people. All right, we're gonna try this one. If it is or isn't, I said what he said. If you don't believe me, look it up. If he was Ukrainian, no one would care. Yeah, people say that he supports Putin, that he's supporting the war in Ukraine. He moved out of Russia when the war started. I looked it up thanks to multiple different AI outlets. He has not said anything pro Putin or the war at all in any like public record. Nothing even like vaguely. He's only spoken against the war, and they wrote a song against the war. People will say that he's promoting Russia and Putin because he will hold a Russian flag up on stage when they perform, just like fucking every band does. Oh my God, Iron Maiden is pro-imperialism because they hold up a British flag. That's it, you know? I just joined. Did you talk about Ronnie Radke yet? No, that's coming up right now. We're closing up on the Alex Terrible portion of the show, and then we'll get to Radke. This is a dark joke. Jesus Christ. HL says Slaughter to Prevail are some stolen valor posers getting all the controversy of being far right without being canceled. Makes me sick as an esoteric. Okay, maybe this joke isn't it. That is dark. That is dark. I don't know if that was the right time for that joke. Would you rather have an artist saying that he doesn't hate trans people but don't show kids? Or would you rather have a band that was forcibly transing one of their members to steal their girlfriend? If those were the choices, which one do you have to pick? Anyway, all right. I think this video is him talking about the transphobe gay allegation, but let's see. It's from Garza podcast a year ago.
Because I asked people, like, what's missing in metal? Because I have my personal definition.
Right.
Jazz solos, according to someone who watches the channel.
People like bands like you guys. It's what's missing. The people that aren't. I think what fucking pisses me off about our genre is like they kind of just have the music, but it's just like they don't really back it up with like the personality.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like, what if let's say something terrible happens, are you going to stand your ground or are you going to back up?
Right.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
And on a deep level, I think that affects the music.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah.
1,000,000%. 1,000,000%. Because I will not follow weak people. Because if you stand up you strong, right?
Yes.
And whatever it is, like maybe you're wrong with some shit, but I can feel your like you stand up with your shit, you know?
Yes.
And I respect that, and I will follow that shit, you know? Especially when you're young, you know? You're looking for
See, I 1000% agree with what he said, and that's basically what's missing in metal. Even if you had the complete polar opposite opinions of him, of me, of anybody, I just don't like this weak shit in metal where people have to like pussyfoot around of being afraid to offend anyone, not saying their real opinions. Even if I disagree with those opinions, I would rather have a band, if they're going to say it, not back down from it, you know? Bands are more than welcome to not talk about anything political or controversial in any way. But I just don't like this pussy shit of, if you're not sorry, don't apologize. And why do I have to have every single same opinion as you to like the music, like some songs? Which again, I think they're all right.
somebody you can trust with, and you cannot trust weak person who give up immediately because of the fucking opinions. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Look,
I completely support a person standing up for their beliefs that I completely disagree with.
respect.
It's like you don't, you know, when people just bend over and you know they don't believe it, you know, like in what they're saying, they're just going through the easy option because they're scared of what people think or whatever. You then lose respect for that
especially
person.
in America. I surprised you guys like have you guys have freedom of the speech, right? Back in the days. Right now it doesn't look like that.
Freedom of the speech.
That because a lot of people just start to attack you. No, you do wrong. No, you have to acting like that, like saying like this, that word, and all this shit, you know?
Yeah.
And it all has a borders and red lines and red flags and all this shit.
Yeah.
But it goes too far with the special one side. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And it's bad because I love America because of democracy, you know? And there's actually like at least two sides, and they fighting each other, you know? And this is how you are getting better. Like, for example, if you have business, like huge company, right? And you have your opponent, you know, like
like
different
competition.
huge company, competition, and it makes your business better. And
in Russia, we send Pona to Gulag along with grandmother.
people around, you know, like you give the opportunity to create something new, big competition. But if you have only one side, and maybe it's right, or maybe they fucking do good shit, you know, but it's only them. There is nothing around them, like no competition, no new things, and all that shit. You know, truth will be there where there's a big competition. And
I agree with this comment. My take is freedom of speech isn't freedom from consequence. You got to be able to, I'm assuming, know how to handle the backlash and not whine about it. I agree with that. My only complaint issue with it is when people's argument for you got to face the consequences is when it's things that aren't true. You know, when it's the people saying he's currently a fucking Nazi going around. That's where I'm like, you're wrong. You can give him the backlash for when he had the tattoo, and if you disagree with some of his opinions, but blatantly false shit, I just think is ridiculous. But I agree, you know. He's never, I don't think, come online and been like, why are you guys attacking me? Please stop. You know, I think he's just been like, nah, fuck you.
Yeah.
There is not only one truth. There is like, I don't know how to say it. Like people see that world very differently. Each of us, you know?
Yes.
And everybody think he's right, you know? But if you have simple laws and fucking rules and all this shit, just don't jump on the red flag, but be yourself and try to push your fucking view.
Yeah, so anyway, that's the guy that people who claim to go to Bloodstock are saying are right-wing Nazi, going to make it a dangerous place and everything. Yeah, what does the chat think? Should Slaughter to Prevail be a headliner at Bloodstock Open Air, or should other bands play a better spot? Are you going to go to Bloodstock wearing a Slaughter to Prevail shirt and American Eagle blue jeans? Let me know in the comments below. JJ says, if an American band holds the American flag up high, it does not mean that they support idiot Trump actions because America is not Trump and Russia is not Putin. Fuck them both. Yeah, usually it meant when a band was holding up their country's flag, it was often a protest against that person. A lot of American bands did that during the Bush administration, the Iraq War. And they'd hold up the flag and say, like, fuck the war and whatever. Yeah. You know? I like Alex. I like him more than his band, honestly. You know, I'd probably agree on it. I don't think the music's bad. I did start to play the new album just to give an honest take on it. And the first song within 30 seconds, I was like, I've listened to Slipknot before. That's basically it for Alex Terrible. I don't give a shit if people don't like the music or think he's the macho douche, because I mean he kind of is. Not a douche, he's macho as fuck. If you don't like that, fine, but whatever. Someone left a comment. I can't pull it up right now, but on the Bloodstock one about him, someone did say, already got my ticket for next year, looking forward to it, and I get an early night on Saturday, which is when Slaughter to Prevail's playing. And I was like, that's the appropriate response. Whenever there's a headlining band that you don't like, but you like the other bands, congratulations, you get to go back to camp early and drink more. What's the problem? There's nothing wrong with that. All right. Some people are heading out. Apparently I talked too long. Well, I got to go. See you next stream. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate it. Thanks for sharing that band, Bombarder. That was sick. I'm going to head out. I got to make some calls and other less than metal things. Have a good one. Take care. Thank you for tuning in. Get to Ronnie Radke. We're going to do that right now. All right. We're getting to the Ronnie Radke drama. There's a lot going on as normal. So where do we start? For those who don't know, Ronnie Radke is the singer for Falling in Reverse. They're what I would consider a metal adjacent band, meaning that they are sometimes metal and they're sometimes not. Sometimes they do country and rap and whatever the fuck he feels like that day, it seems. Talk about the Ronnie puppet. We'll get to that too. So, should we start with his video? Yeah, I guess we should. There is a very big YouTuber named Anthony Fantano. He is a music reviewer. He's extremely biased, judgmental, and full of himself. I like to call him Alopecia Potter. Ronnie Radke really hates him a lot. He not only reviewed the Slaughter to Prevail album and said it was shit, but he repeatedly spread a bunch of allegations about Ronnie that either not true, weren't totally true, or were completely baseless. Ronnie sued him for defamation and apparently lost. And he uploaded a video about it on the Falling in Reverse's actual page, which, by the way, as a YouTuber who had to work their way up making videos to earn their place, cheap move, Ronnie. Already getting your popular... That was your shtick the whole time. You were grifting to be a popular band just so you could jump to the top of YouTube fame. I'm on to you. I see what this was about. Tank's video brought me here somehow. Hey, shout out to Tank. Yeah, Tank uploaded a video on this whole situation right before I jumped up on here, and I haven't watched it yet, and we're going to watch it together. But first, I want to go through my perception of it before I get to that, because maybe he'll answer some questions I have or agree with a lot of stuff I said. But let's have Ronnie explain about the lawsuit a bit. I probably won't play this whole thing, but I will do more than a lot of other people did. I saw some other YouTubers that I won't name making videos saying how Ronnie's crashing out, haha, look at him, and didn't show a single clip from his video. Like, that's bad journalism. Even if you hate him, how are you going to say that he made an awful video and not show any clip from the video? Anyway.
I'm going to make this quick. I lost my lawsuit to Anthony Fantano, but the reality is it makes me happy. Let's get into it. For some of you guys that don't know, Anthony Fantano is a music critic, and he goes online and he judges music out of a scale of 1 to 10, which he rarely gives anybody a 10. I don't think he's ever given anybody a 10. That's neither here nor there. The reason why I'm making this video,
if you think Ronnie can act really immature and hot-headed sometimes, you are correct. But that doesn't mean that he's not right when he's right.
was because I sued Anthony Fantano, and my lawyers told me there's a small chance you will win this. But that's not why I sued him. I sued him so I could make this video right now. Because what better time to make this video than right now, in the midst of Anthony Fantano being accused of being a racist.
I said more drama. I will say that I don't understand why Ronnie would have had to file a lawsuit to make a video countering him. Why could he not have just made a video countering him in the first place? I'm not hating Ronnie. If you're tuning in, I don't understand that part. Maybe you can explain it.
Ian, a nigga. Let's get into it. Anthony Fantano made a video about me a long time to make this video. Then right now, in the midst of Anthony Fantano being accused of being a racist. Called Ian a nigga. Let's get into it. Anthony Fantano made a video about me a long time ago called This Guy Sucks. This is after multiple times of him making videos about judging my songs and saying how bad.
I agree with this comment. I find Ronnie funny even when he has bad takes. Yeah, it's the same. I find Ronnie really funny. Sometimes he goes much further than I would on things, but most of the time I find him really funny.
I am, and how it's the worst thing ever, blah, 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 like he normally does. Rage bait. So he made a video finally about how I suck, and the reason why I suck is for all these reasons. I'm going to get into it right now. We're going to react to it right now, actually.
What a coward. And anyone defending this man or acting like he's cool, probably a coward too.
People that defend me are cowards.
You see what I meant by alopecia Potter?
According to Anthony Fantano.
Like Ronald's content there, that's his intellectual property. He should be able to say whether or not it turns up in Brad's YouTube video, so on and so forth. Yeah, but here's the thing. Brad's content does technically fall under.
So they're mad because they think that I'm trying to take down this guy, Brad's music. And the reality is
he talking about Brad taste in music? Because that's going to be fucking hilarious.
So many streamers that stream my music on Twitch and stuff have had the music taken down. He's also accusing me of doing all this, which I didn't do. By the way, Brad Taste is now got in trouble for domestic violence. The irony of that one, huh?
Some people have asked, if you're wondering why I haven't made a comment on the Brad Taste in music situation, it is because I had never fucking heard of him before until this happened. So I have zero context. Literally my introduction to this person was that leaked audio of him being extremely abusive. So don't really have much to say on it.
Apparently, allegedly, I suppose. That's what I read.
You know, Ronald is one of those controversial figures in rock music who likes to, tout himself as like a free speech kind of guy. He's shooting from the hip. He's telling it like it is. He may have said some things in the past that don't play all that well today, but he's grown. He's changed. You can't hate people over old tweets. He's not with all that cancel culture crap.
Well, that's crazy, Anthony. Aren't you getting canceled for saying the N-word and laughing at Trayvon Martin after he died or something?
Yeah, no, that was extremely ironic. Because he absolutely does blame Ronnie for old tweets and things he said, and now he's getting hate for old things he said.
That's allegedly. This is all debunked.
Bird, I just noticed you in the corner. I had no idea you were here.
I believe that Anthony Fantano came out, and if I'm wrong, you could correct me. He came out and apologized a long time ago about this, and it's being revamped, I suppose. He's getting absolutely obliterated on it. And I thought the perfect time to do this was right now, was because the audacity for him to make how long is this video? 10-minute video, just so he can make money off of me. Yeah. The audacity to make a 10-minute video on how
I am a little confused as to why Ronnie would have lost the lawsuit. Maybe because I'm trying to remember, and I don't remember if in Anthony's video if he just straight up said like Ronnie is a rapist or a murderer or whatever. But I feel like if he just straight up said that, then Ronnie would have won. I don't know. I don't know what the details are on
how
specifically why Ronnie lost.
I did 10 years ago are bad and stuff like that. When you right now, sir, are being judged for something you did a long time ago.
However, over the years that he's been in the music industry, Ronald has shown no growth, change, or maturity. Any shittiness.
Sir, I've been sober for almost 18 years. I came from the bottom to the top. I'm one of the biggest rock bands right now. Mentally, spiritually, and physically, I am in the best shape I've ever been. I have changed immensely, Anthony. And I think the reason why I don't like you amongst a lot of other people is because you use my name to get clicks and views so you can pay your rent. You're biased and you judge and you're pretentious. I believe you're the most pretentious person on the internet.
A lot of people really don't like Fantano.
I'm not kidding. It's almost like you gloat and you act like your opinion is better than everyone else's opinion. This is just what I see at face value. I could be completely wrong because on the inside, deep down, me and you are very similar because we said some things that we should never have said in the past and done some things that we shouldn't have, except I understand that you did that, but you don't understand that I did that. And you don't realize that it's okay that you can grow and change. So the bottom line is here, the bad person.
It's a little rambly, but I mean, I get what he's saying for sure.
In my opinion, is you, because I don't use people for clicks and views to make money.
Ronnie, I'm a fan of your social media and everything. I wouldn't say use people to get money, but you definitely use your haters, you could argue justifiably, as promotion for shows and bands because it does help spread the word, which I'm not hating on. It's a good strategy, especially in this day and age. That's partially why they're so big. That's kind of how I became aware or a fan of his social media, was because of stuff like that. I'd say I don't think it's 100% accurate to say that.
You do it negatively. You don't care if it hurts their feelings. You don't care.
But I do agree that pretty much every time that happens, it's the person saying really dumb shit at Ronnie first. I don't think Ronnie usually just picks some random subject and just goes off. You can argue he might go too far at times, but I don't think he just picks people at random.
If it makes their fans mad, you do it on purpose to make money.
Or narcissism he may have been exhibiting in the past.
Narcissism in the past. Do you understand that 1% of people have narcissism? This is absolutely, this guy is just out of his fucking mind.
When he might have said something terrible 10 years ago is surely still being exhibited now. You don't even need to go into the old things Ronald Radke has said and done.
So basically, it's the same situation with Ronnie as it is with Alex Terrible. They said some douchey things. They did some not cool things in the past that they have repeatedly over and over again throughout the years said was dumb, and that they've changed and moved on from. But people online in comment sections refuse to let that go because they have some opinions that they don't like.
Because he's doing...
And same with Ronnie Radke and Falling Reverse. You could hate their music. You could not like Ronnie and think he's immature and everything. That's fine. But it's all these like false accusations and bullshit that I have an issue with. But there's more.
Saying just as terrible things today, whether he's using his Twitter page to harass and shut down people, trying to talk about their experiences having been sexually assaulted. And
that's a lie.
He doesn't do the same thing that maybe some other artists do when they're hit with similar allegations.
This part is really important. I just back up just slightly. I'm not going to play this entire video, but because we've still got other stuff, but this part's really important.
Do when they're hit with similar allegations, they might have been sexually assaulted, and he doesn't do the same thing that maybe some other artists do. When they're hit with similar allegations, they might make a statement, they might apologize, they might disappear into the shadows, never to be heard from again because they're cowardly pieces of shit. But no, not Ronald. Ronald doubles down and sues.
I can make this AI. I'm not going to lie.
This is why I sued you, Anthony. You're making it seem like I doubled down on actual gang rape and sued somebody to silence them. That is why I'm suing you. That's why I sued you. The audacity. If I was in front of you right now, dude, listen, right now.
Fucking God damn it. All right. So, a big claim against Ronnie a lot of people like to make is that he's an abuser. He went to jail for raping one of his exes or something. And it's true that a woman accused him of rape. And it's true that it was not only dropped, but Ronnie did sue her for defamation. And as someone said in the comments a minute ago, defamation lawsuits are really hard to win. And Ronnie won that one. So it's super not fair to say that he abused somebody and then sued them. That is leaving out so much context.
There's a 0% chance of you ever doing anything like this. You are free to go. So, Anthony, you understand how traumatizing that could be for somebody that would never do something like that. You know that, right, Anthony? So the problem that I'm having here is you are bringing up stuff that is so traumatic, not only to me and to victims that actually were sexually assaulted, and you got girls like that lying. So, yeah, I doubled down and I sued the shit out of her and I won. And that's the reason why I'm suing you, is just so I can talk about this topic. It's crazy.
But he did. Okay, so he sued her and won. And that's a big thing that people ignore. That's a lot. It is not easy to win a defamation suit in any way. So when people say that, I can't believe you like Ronnie Radke, he's a rapist, that's just blatantly fucking false. What did he just say?
This topic. It's crazy. It's the audacity, the pretentiousness, the gloating,
had domestic violence charges too against him, which were ultimately dismissed. True, but the fact that all of this behavior is piling up here is quite sussy-wussy.
Quite sussy-wussy is what he says. Quite sussy-wussy. Anthony, for the life of you, have you ever just thought about not being a biased piece of fucking shit, bro? And trying to look at the good in people?
Or
I mean, Ronnie just does slap suits, basically dragging people through the courts knowing you have more money than him to drain their money or get them back out because of financial reasons. Is that true? I don't know if that's true. And does he do it for actual reasons? Does he have a case? Because otherwise it'd be thrown out. John Oliver did a whole episode on that where he said, F you, Bob, I believe. John Oliver is a propagandist fucking retard. Anything he said, the opposite is true.
Even hopping on Twitter to be transphobic or poke.
That's the problem. That's the problem. That's the same problem with Alex Terrible and all of them.
Transphobic. So the last 5 music videos, I've had 2, 3, 4 trans people total working on them, either at my house, watching me take my clothes off and putting clothes on me.
Pause.
In my music videos. I'm so tired of this transphobic rhetoric that you guys try to spew, because I think that they thems is like a weird terminology. And why should I call you a they them if it's like fucking, it has nothing to do with being trans in the first place? They them or non-binary means you are not of 2 things, male or female. So how can that make you trans? And what is wrong with that? If I don't believe that trans people should compete in women's sports or being put in women's prisons, or trans people in the bathroom with my 6-year-old daughter at the time going to the bathroom, what is wrong with that? That doesn't make me transphobic. It makes me have common sense. And Anthony, you're just on your soapbox standing up and just doing that fucking thing you're doing, dude. It's like almost like you have a lot of secrets that you don't want people to know about. It's what it seems like.
Fun of the
yeah, that's what Ronnie has always said about trans stuff, basically, and that's why people slander him for that. So I think in terms of Ronnie's video, I think all that pretty much showcases the main parts of it. Ronnie always spitting facts. Yeah, so neither Alex Terrible nor Ronnie Radke said, we hate trans people. We don't want them at our shows. Blah, 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 blah. They both said they don't give a fuck, especially about adults. Or about adults, but there you go. If you want to disagree with them on that, at least that part of it would be more accurate. But anyway, talking about the drama, what happened next? Wait for it. Wait for it. So recently, the other day, since so many people have a huge hate hard on for Ronnie, the website Lambgoat posted an article saying Falling in Reverse headliner in Austin, Texas reportedly canceled due to low ticket sales. And their source was some person told them. And Ronnie took a big issue with that, and so did other people, and it led into a whole thing. Let's start over here. When the dust settles, his music is still shit. See, this is opinion that I can't argue against or give anything. I like a couple of their songs, but this is a personal opinion. So I can't say you're wrong to that. If you said, no, he's a fucking Nazi rapist, that's not an opinion. That's wrong. You know what I mean? That's all I'm talking about. We got clicking all over the place. So Ronnie Radke, super mature. This was at a recent Falling in Reverse show. Like I said, if you think Ronnie can be immature, you're not wrong. But I thought this was fucking hilarious. This was live at a concert. He put up Anthony Fantano, Alopecia Potter. I could treat black music so I can say the N-word with a hard R. Ronnie saying, Anthony Fantano and the writer for Lambgoat love saying the N-word with a hard R, but fail to realize I'm the hardest of R's. Enjoy my live critique of Anthony playing what seemingly is the worst sounding untuned bass I have ever heard. And also 10,000 fans in Dallas aren't fond of it either. Where was it?
Oh, look at my fucking hair right now. Hold on. What the fuck? Holy shit. What the fuck is this shit? How are you a fucking music critic? This guy's a fucking music critic, guys! What in the house, dude? Hold on.
Oh, fuck, I hit the wrong one. It is in the works. Godzilla's in the works. Don't worry. We're about up to the waist high right now. There's been, tariffs and wars and shit, making things a little unstable in the way, but the Canadian Kaiju project is in motion. Nothing stops it. So yeah.
Fucking boo, you pretentious piece of fucking shit!
That's what I'm saying. I wouldn't go that far. But he's in his right to do so. And he does it because he's, feels attacked by them. Let's go. I'd love to see Ronnie on the show. I'd have him. If Ronnie wanted to come on, I would totally let him on. 100%. Let everyone know right now so I don't seem like I'm simping or a shill or anything. I did not like that new song they just came out with. I liked the other country one with Jelly Roll, but the one they just did is I'm glad it's successful. Anyway, that's mostly the Anthony Fantano stuff, but if you still see here, the Lambgoat stuff. So Falling in Reverse cancels show due to low ticket sales. He put that on blast too. And I think he put the writer for Lamb Goat on as well. If not, he made a puppet, by the way. Here.
David Trox, owner of Lamb Goat. Guys, you guys are in my DMs right now telling me that he groomed you when he was underage. If he did that, if he groomed you 10 years ago, or whatever the fuck it was, when you were underage, stop messaging me this.
I don't know anything about that.
And go public with it. I'm tired of it. I don't care about that anymore. I'm sick of you guys always messaging me about all these people like the guy from Lamb Goat grooming you when he was underage. I have nothing to do with it anymore. I'm sick of it. If you really want to make it public, make it public. Don't tell me to tell people, okay? First of all, let's get that out of the way. David Trox, whatever the fuck your name.
This is the writer for Lamb Goat. He looks exactly like I thought he would.
Is you're a fucking loser piece of shit. You could suck my fucking dick. About to fucking go in on you. Following reverse headliner in Austin canceled due to low ticket sales. Complete and utter fabrication and defamation, and this literally could end bad. Friday, August 1st, my manager sends following reverse ticket counts. I say, these tickets are fucking incredible, man. He says, yep. And Austin and Bristol came down, by the way, quietly, but fans getting refunds now on these.
So, Falling Universe did cancel the show in Austin, Texas. People online were spreading the rumor that was because of low ticket sales. Ronnie said that it was because they normally don't do 3 shows in a row because it's hard on his voice and like it takes a lot. I guess it's their usual thing, and it basically shouldn't have been booked in the first place, which might be true. I honestly don't know. He shows things here saying that. I do wonder, though, because there's some fans saying that they were going to that show and they kind of just got sudden notice that it was canceled. I hope they got refunds. I think it might say here that they did. Yeah, Austin and Bristow came down, by the way, quietly, but fans getting refunds now on those. So at least they're getting the refunds, but I think it was a couple weeks before the show and people, you know, obviously booked hotels, travel plans or whatever. So that does suck on their part, even if his reasoning is completely accurate, which he seems to show that it is. That still sucks for them, you know. So, like, I guess it shouldn't be booked in the first place. Tank probably talked about this in his video that we're going to get to in a moment. But anyway.
And Milwaukee, I just don't want to do 3 in a row. We added 3 more songs to the show. Okay, if you want to drop it, Ruth, the producer, is going to drop the puppet up, blah, blah, blah. We don't have an issue dropping Milwaukee. Keep Milwaukee. It's not 3 in a row. And there you have it. The reason why we canceled Austin is because there's too many shows in a row, and my voice would not be able to handle that. I'm 41 years old. If you're a singer out there that's been touring your whole life, you understand this. But these fucking retarded idiots don't understand that. 2 on, 1 off. That's fine. 1 on, 1 off. 2 on, 1 off. That's how you do it. No, the shows did not get canceled because of low ticket sales. Austin had 5,000 fucking tickets. Are you kidding me? For a band like mine, 5,000 probably would have been around 7 by the time we fucking played the show. So Austin,
they headlined Warped Tour here in Long Beach, and that crowd was insanely massive. Obviously, that was a festival, not just them, but still.
Sorry that we could not play, but this shit's got to stop. Look at this. Imagine canceling a headliner tour because of low ticket sales. 4,000 likes.
See? That's what he argues about that I completely agree with. 124,000 people are under the impression that he canceled an entire tour because of low ticket sales, when that's blatantly not true at all.
Look at this shit. You guys are fucking stupid as shit. What? Here's last night. Tonight's probably going to be fucking bigger here in Dallas. Sorry to tell you guys, there's nothing you can do. You could say whatever the fuck you want. It's not going to change the fucking fact that my band is massive. You guys cannot say shit to cancel me or make me disappear and ruin my career. So now you have to make shit up about my career that's not true. And that's what we're not going to do. So, Lamb Goat, I know you're associated with fucking Anthony Fantano, the guy that says the N-word after every fucking thing he possibly can.
I'm not a fan of alopecia Potter, but that's not true. Come on.
The right-winger turned leftist because he was afraid he was going to get canceled.
That is true. That is true.
All know about this whole thing. I'm coming after you. I'm fucking coming after you motherfuckers now. You fucked up. Dave.
He's quick at setting up his live shows if he could throw those up that quickly. And then another post got into this as well from... Can someone tell Anthony that he's Italian, not black? Let's share. So this post was made by JD DeLay, former career criminal to recovery coach.
Falling in Reverse headliner in Austin was reportedly canceled due to low ticket sales. The Ronnie Radke haters were absolutely frothing at the mouth about this until... Oh, did Lamb Goat have to come out and do a retraction and an apology to Ronnie? Yeah, they did.
No, they did not. This post is Photoshop that Ronnie fell for and reposted on his stories. So Lamb Goat did not apologize. Lamb Goat actually doubled down. If you check the comments under Ronnie's post, they're in there saying, we never apologized. So stop spreading fake shit that Ronnie's abuser and stop spreading fake shit that Lamb Goat apologized and they didn't.
It's crazy because Live Nation, the actual company that sells the tickets, said that rock and heavy music is bigger than ever, largely because of a few of the bands that are pushing the scene, and Ronnie was on the top of the list.
That is true. Yeah, some people are acting like, oh my God, this is the end of Falling in Reverse. Like, no one's going to see Ronnie Radke live anymore. There are just reports saying they were one of the top-selling bands.
Lamb Goat already knew that because they reported on it too. I guess that leaves the question, are they utterly incompetent at their job or are they just flat out liars? Let's hear from somebody who actually writes from Lamb Goat who doesn't agree with what they're doing here.
If they didn't like someone, they didn't care if it was true or not.
Now listen.
I tried to find that video. I could not find it. I messaged that woman to try to find it, and I don't think she's ready to respond to it yet, but I need to find that because I know that that's true. I've been told by people in the industry that that's true, not just for Lamb Goat, but so much of metal journalism is tabloid, clickbait, biased. They decide what bands they like, they decide what bands they don't, and they're going to be biased on the reporting, whether it's true or not. I was told that a reputable, big metal magazine news outlet still has Decapitated blacklisted because of the accusations against them that were fucking proven to be not true.
Listen to me. We all know that once something hits the internet, whether it's true or not, people are going to believe that thing forever. They knew what they were writing was a lie and they published it anyway because they know that the original article is going to get way more traction than the retraction and the apology. They have no problem smearing somebody so that they can get a little bit of clicks and views on the internet. And that's disgusting.
And that's all it is now. Every metal magazine news outlet is upheld by their clickbait bullshit and then their ads. That's it. They're not making enough to fully sustain themselves on actual album reviews or interviews or anything. But a little bit of a conversation here. Tommy Vexed said, this is why the only reputable news source is Rockfeed. It's the only news outlet that doesn't hate the musicians it covers. This is fucking so true. The rest are run by failed musicians who couldn't cut it writing music, so they became professional haters of anything that gets popular. That is mostly true. JD DeLay says, love them, bro. Tank the Tech popping in here saying, yup, tons of others aside, Lamb Goat has had the shittiest, laziest metal news stories for years now, and they don't seem to have any shame in it. And they don't. They prove that by saying they're not apologizing. Rockfeed, on the other hand, has always kept neutral and just reported on what's going on without attaching personal opinion to it. JD said, dude has integrity and understands how to report objectively. The entire mainstream media could learn from him. And then I said that plus all the metal news sites, wrong site, I wrote this early in the morning, shut up, are either run by the same people or just copy paste each other's articles. Tank said that's also a fantastic point. What else do we have here? So, that's a lot, right? Yeah, A lot of the metal news websites are completely biased, not giving you real news, and they spread this bullshit about bands that then keep spreading. That's how you get Alex Terrible as a neo-Nazi and Ronnie Radke murdered a bunch of people. But wait, what? What was Decapitated accused of besides being amazing? Oh man, it was like early 2000s, 2010s or something. Some psychotic bitch accused Decapitated of gang raping her after a show. She accused them of gang raping her in the bathroom of the tour bus. I knew immediately that that's not physically possible. You can barely fit one person in a tour bathroom bus. Fit words. Toilet. But they were jailed for a little while in America, barely speaking English, until it was proven that this woman was completely full of shit and they dropped the charges. But they were like, all the metal news outlets were either slamming him or not defending him. I think Nurgle from Behemoth was the only person to defend him at the time. And then it very quietly just got dropped and they started coming back. But yeah. That was the late 2010s, I think, Wyatt. Yeah, it was something around then, yeah. They were put through the system with no representation for a long time in a foreign country. She had a history of making false claims. Yes, that is true. That could be a video as well. I was thinking of making a video on artists that are overhated and basically this same thing with them and some others on it. But so, Falling in Reverse did cancel that Austin show. Some people assumed it was because Ronnie Radke didn't want to play or is not selling tickets. And that's only because they already hate Ronnie Radke. But I do have questions of it being canceled so last minute to the fans that as if they're getting refunds, there's not really much else you can do besides it just being a bummer. But as I said, Tank the Tech made a video covering this whole situation. And this is going to be my first time watching it right now. Everybody get comfortable. Do a video on that, Wyatt. The Decapitated story was really brushed under the rug after the charges were dropped. I really should, honestly, because that was such horseshit. If it's not the tickets, then what is it? Ronnie was claiming that they don't do 3 shows in a row for his voice. But let's see what Tank says about it, because Tank is honest. Tank's not going to give favor to one side or the other. He'll tell you straight up. Play a fucking emo song? Come on. No, go listen to the song Ronald. It's a much better song. Oh my God. Hello, Tank's Twitch chat. Oh, wait, I'm not sharing it. Fuck. What am I doing? I thought I was sharing the page. Fuck. We'll do it live. Fucking thing sucks. Anyway.
More concert cancellations, or more specifically, Falling in Reverse / Ronnie Radke concert cancellations. We're filming live on Twitch. Like,
I promise you, their latest stuff doesn't sound like that.
We do a lot nowadays. Hello, Twitch chat. And if you're watching on YouTube later, you can go to twitch.tv/tankthetech if you want to join when we do this. I'm not going to lie. I was getting kind of fired up here before we decided to start recording and actually talk about this earlier in the stream, because for people that have seen the news, yeah, Falling in Reverse is on a very big tour right now, the God is a Weapon tour. And their 3rd show of the tour has been canceled, and everybody is just coming out of the woodworks on this one and be like, oh, Ronnie Radke canceling shows again and stuff like this. And I really realize, not only from comments online, but actually from a lot of people in the chat, like, people really have no idea how this stuff works. And
yes, correct. They think Ronnie was just like, I don't want to perform, fuck it. You got to be like some Axl Rose in the 90s type shit to do that.
I don't mean that to sound demeaning to anybody that's watching. Like, not everybody's in the music industry and knows the logistics behind show cancellations and what that means and how things work. But people are just throwing wild shit out there online, dude. Cancel because of low ticket sales. He's canceled because he's going to keep the money and walk away. Cancel because he wants to do something else.
You're not Boban. He's not moving to Zanzibar. I need to grab water really quick, Tank. I'm not stealing your content. I'm just running off really. I'll be right back.
Dude, I'm going to say this multiple times in this video probably, but I'll tell you right now before we dive into this, no artist wants to cancel a show ever because there are a lot of money implications that go into stuff like that.
All right, content theft over.
So I want to go over this and kind of explain how a lot of this works. Let's dive in here. Okay, so as you can see on screen right now, following in reverse. Special guests: Slaughter to Prevail, Wage War, Hollywood Undead, Tech 9, Sleep 30 Point North. Now, not all of those bands are performing on every single show at all times. Like you can see under here, if we go to the dates, they have which bands are performing where. Those are just the rotating bands on the tour. And this is a very common thing nowadays, even outside of this genre.
Pause. This comment. Never liked anything Ronnie's band put out, but I can't lie and say dude isn't great at being a frontman and vocalist. I think he'd be amazing in a death metal band, to be honest. He's got the vocals. If you heard the song Ronnie, he could absolutely do it. I saw them at Aftershock Festival. Perfect timing for me because I'm not a fan on the level of I'd probably go to their own headline show, but they're playing a festival. Definitely watch them. He was a great frontman. He was entertaining the crowd, making jokes, running around, headbanging, and repeatedly he stopped the show to make sure people in the audience were okay. Like, that's my thing. If you don't like his music, totally fine. But people say like he's not talented. That is just blatantly false. But you can say you don't like the music. I get that.
Yeah, it goes for a while, man. It actually started on the 10th of August, even though that date is not on here anymore because today is the 12th and they remove the date once it's done. And it goes all the way through the 26th of September. You're talking like 30 shows in the course of like 40 days, dude. Like that's
a long ass tour.
That's a lot. That's a pretty heavy touring schedule.
That is.
And most of these places are big amphitheaters in big places, upwards of 10,000 capacity for a lot of them. Well, as they've kicked off the tour, they had a big first show in Denver, or right outside Denver. They sold 10,000 tickets to the show. And as somebody pointed out, which I find hilarious, 10,000 when the venue holds 18,000 is embarrassing.
It is not. You are a fucking retard. That is absolutely not embarrassing. This is a child who does not understand how concerts work. Tank's going to be a lot nicer than I'm going to be.
Well, first of all, before you get that, 10,000 tickets anywhere is not embarrassing, dude. Not a lot of people are selling 10,000 tickets in the realm of like metal and rock right now, unless it's like a big like legacy band like Linkin Park or somebody else super relevant. 10,000 tickets is a great number. And yes, while this venue does hold 18,000 at full capacity, a lot of venues nowadays scale to different sizes.
Oh God, yeah, it's weird. This show sold out and you'll see the whole back upper portions blocked off.
They don't always book the shows with that sellable capacity at the full number, which 18,000. I don't know what the sellout number for this was or what it was actually set up for, but a lot of times talent buyers and promoters, when they book the show, will do, okay, let's originally sell it at a sold out number of maybe 8. And then if it sells out, it looks like we're going to sell a lot more tickets, we'll open it up. This happens in arenas a lot too, where the stage gets moved forward or back in the arena, depending on what the capacity is going to be.
Someone just made a fucking great comment. I'd be happy to play in front of 5 people, let alone 10,000. Yes. When my band Dark Insanity plays shows, if it shows that not a lot of people, we still play to have fun. We're playing to have I'm going to have fun playing with my band no matter what, whether people are there or not. You do a bit of change in the performance. You're not going to, I hate when a band is playing to like 5 people and they're like, let's fucking go. And like, no one's just into it. But that doesn't mean you have to just stand there and be awkward. But yeah, anyone dissing a 10K crowd is a fucking idiot.
So I don't know how this one was set up, but let's be 100% honest here. 10,000 tickets is still very impressive. And Ronnie even responded to this person and said highest attendance at 5 years, at the venue. And I have no reason to doubt that that's not true because, I mean, concert sales in the last 5 years since the pandemic have not been great across the board. So it wouldn't surprise me if 10,000 is the most that they've sold.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. That 5 years goes into COVID, so that would make sense.
At that place in 5 years. But now that we've kind of covered that, like venues set up differently, the big thing that's been brought up the last, few days here is that shows are starting to cancel. The one that started it all was Lamb Goat posted Falling in Reverse headliner in Austin reportedly canceled due to low ticket sales. Now, this was reported August 10th, but there were people days before that were on Reddit saying that they had gotten emails from, I believe, Ticketmaster saying that the show was canceled and they were wondering why. The article says that Falling in Reverse fans planning to attend the group's headlining concert in Austin, Texas this coming Wednesday, August 13th, were confused last week when they received official word from Ticketmaster, okay, so that was correct, that the event at Moody Center had been canceled. The notification simply stated, unfortunately, the event organizer has had to cancel your event.
Before whatever he says next, the next part of it says, we've since been told by a reliable source that the concert was scrapped due to poor ticket sales. Who the fuck is your reliable source? Is it the voices in your head? Is it the owner of the venue? Is it the booking agent? Is it the guy outside on fentanyl screaming at windows? Who is your source, professional metal journalist?
That is actually a really important thing to remember for all of this that we're going to talk about. The event organizer has had to cancel your event. We've since been told by a reliable source that the concert was scrapped due to poor ticket.
Ronnie was not the event organizer.
Sales. Neither Falling in Reverse nor Polarizing frontman Ronnie Radke have addressed the cancellation, nor seemingly will they. Foreshadowing, because they did. Falling in Reverse kicked off their God as a Weapon North America tour with Slaughter to Prevail, blah, 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 blah. We already talked about all this stuff. It also does say, notably, in addition to the aforementioned Austin stop, the Bristow, Virginia show on August 26th has been canceled for a undisclosed reason. And other outlets picked up on this too. Lamb Goat was first, and then a bunch of other outlets started.
They just copy paste each other's stupid fucking articles and they have like AI write a paragraph to make it seem different. Fuck all of you fake journalists.
Saying canceled show due to low ticket sales. This one not even saying reportedly due to.
I noticed it with talking about these lazy ass metal sites. I noticed it really clearly when Blue Ridge Rock Festival, there was a post saying that they had announced tickets going on sale for the coming year after the one had already fallen apart, and everyone was at the same time. All of the news outlets in metal were saying they just announced tickets for next year. What's going on? This is crazy. When the tickets had been technically on sale on the website the entire time since the festival happened, they just never changed it. But one outlet decided to be like, hey, they put them on sale today. All of them reposted it without checking.
Low ticket sales, just saying it was canceled due to, allegedly. Never mind. I can't read. Allegedly.
You're not alone, Tank. There's a reason we're metal fans.
Now, a lot of these outlets are saying reportedly and allegedly to cover their ass here, and they know it because Ronnie noticed and he addressed the situation.
Falling in Reverse headliner in Austin.
So you got me reacting to Ronnie's video. Now you got me reacting to Tank reacting to Ronnie's video. YouTube is a wonderful place. Bring on the comment.
Canceled due to low ticket sales. This is the most likes and comments they get, by the way, because these guys are fucking losers. By the way, this is a fucking lie. What the heck?
If Tank plays his whole video, I'm sorry for playing it twice.
This is the baseline of my tour, pretty much, of ticket sales, roughly, more or less, across 31 fucking shows. That's about 10 to 11,000 people last night. Dallas, 10,000 people.
JD said, I didn't even realize Throat Goat was still writing articles.
Austin.
I've been told, not Lamb Goat specifically, but I have been told that other people in metal journalism do specifically suck up to bands and just try to be on the good side. That's what I've heard about some people.
Was 5,000 fucking tickets in a 7,000 cap venue 2 weeks before, so it'd probably be sold out if we had played it. You guys are fucking stupid. Stop fucking lying to the fucking people to make me look bad and make you guys look good and get clicks and views. If I ever fucking see you in person, brother, I'll find out. I swear to, I can't talk about this. Anyways, just audited Lamb Goat's fucking Instagram. 1% engagement.
How do you do that? I want to know how to find these statistics.
300 likes average. How embarrassing for a company 20 years old. You guys are fucking losers, dude. In comparison, let me show
Dude, I'm telling you, the metal journalism sites are entirely held up by their advertisements.
you. 21,000 followers. It's insane. You get one follower. What do you get? Like fucking 20 followers a year? I can't even do math, man. Fuck. Here, comparatively speaking, 45,000 average likes. This is my second Instagram, by the way. 6% engagement rate. You guys see why these guys make up lies and do stupid shit so they can get engagement? You don't even get paid. You get paid peanuts off of the engagement you guys get. By the way, I have 7,000 fucking followers. In comparison, look.
7,000. That was 700,000.
1.3 million, 17,000 average.
That is
1%
crazy.
Engagement. I mean, this guy's doing bad too, I guess. In comparison, I just had to throw him in here because this guy fucking sucks.
You really hate alopecia Potter.
Anyways, guys, if you're out there, bully the shit out of Lamb Goat for me and give them the engagement that they so desperately need. I want them to have the engagement right now. Lamb Goat, if you're watching this, I hope you have a wonderful day, you lying pieces of shit.
So I've said this many times, and I do stand by this. Like, I don't agree with a lot of the stuff Ronnie Radke says. And
Ronnie will straight up tell his audience to go harass someone and post a phone number if that person attacked him first. I wouldn't go that far.
Like some of the way he handles himself. But I will say, like I wouldn't be telling people to like bully people and stuff like that, but whatever. Where I'm going with this is I understand. I get it, because this dude is the most attacked guy in the music scene. And 95% of the time people are going after him are for things that aren't even true. I said
I haven't checked the comments of this video yet, but we're gonna.
This earlier before we were recording. I'm an equal opportunity hater. If you want to hate on somebody, go ahead. You've got the right to. But at least get your facts right when you're doing it.
Thank you, Tech. That is my whole fucking point. If you don't like Ronnie Radke because you think he does take things too far like that, that is a real thing. That's true. That's fine. If you don't like his music, that's fine. If you make shit up, that's not fine.
Because I've seen people go after him for he's a murderer. He went to jail for being a murderer. No, he didn't. He went to jail for violating parole, which you guys are giving him way too much street credit for that, because like
100%, bro.
He went to jail for violating parole or probation, one of the two. The stuff.
What I'm trying to prove here is that me and Tank are grifters. We are shilling for Ronnie Radke so that he will take us on tour with him because we are desperate.
The SA stuff. He's gone to court over all of this stuff. He's countersued for defamation. He's won. There is so much stuff that people accuse him of that is just a quick Google search could prove never happened or is an outright lie. So on one hand, I can understand how getting online every day and seeing this shit can just...
If you hate someone so much, why would you not do a Google search to make sure the thing you hate him for is actually fucking true? Wouldn't you rather find out the thing wasn't true so that you don't have to hate him?
Infuriate you. And seeing a headline like that, just straight out saying like, we have a reliable source that says it was canceled due to low ticket sales and stuff like that. Like, it's not true. 5,000 tickets for a 7,000 capacity venue a couple weeks ahead of time is a good number to be at when you're selling a show. It is, because let's be honest, like not a lot of shows sell out immediately. Like as a tour manager and even like band managers and stuff like that, we get numbers each week to see where ticket sales are going. And so we can like project on what it's going to look like the day of the show. For me, if I was the tour manager of that tour and I saw that it was at 5,000, which out of 7,000 2 weeks before,
that's a great turnout.
I'd be willing to assume it would have sold out too. And there were people online that said Moody Center is not a 7,000 cap venue. And Ronnie actually responded and said what I was saying earlier about how it's scalable. That's what promoters do. And then if it sells out, they might open it to a bigger area. So of course, it was scaled to 7,000 and that's what they were selling it for. Forever Violet just...
I wonder if Tank is going to address why they did cancel it though.
said, but he also just plays into it all. He lives to be the most hated guy in metal. It works for him.
It's promotion. It is free publicity. That is why they're so fucking big. Because controversy sells and everyone's talking about him. And a lot of the times, he doesn't create the controversy. People create bullshit controversy around him and he responds to it.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like, I really do. Like, I've talked to so many people that have worked for Falling Universe and have been on tour with Falling Universe that behind the scenes say he's a super nice guy. I firmly believe he's just become the villain that everybody wants him to be.
Yeah, he says that.
Everybody for so long just hated on the guy and talked trash about him and made him
White Kanye. No, that's too far. That's too far.
Him seem like such a horrible person that he's like, yeah, I'm just going to give you what you want. And it's working.
Like Manson did, like, Alice Cooper did, like all metal did.
Like, I've told people a million times when it comes to art, content, whatever, if you don't like somebody, or just the best thing to do is ignore. Don't engage. Because this dude has mastered engagement online with the way he acts. I'm not condoning it. I'm not saying it's right or that I would do that either, but he has mastered it. And everybody's just feeding into what he's doing. Like, the drama sells. Like, I feel like everybody that goes online and rages about Ronnie is literally falling for the trap, dude. But anyways,
you could say they're falling in reverse.
Continue with what we're talking about. So as for the cancellations themselves,
all right, this should be interesting.
So far, they've canceled the Austin show at the Moody Center, which was on the 13th. Somebody remind me. Come on, chat. What are
Austin's flooded? Perhaps Ronnie can't swim. Did anyone ever think about that?
other shows have they canceled? Okay, they've canceled the 26th of August in Bristow, Virginia. That was at Jiffy Lube Live. Somebody said there was one more, but I don't know if that's true or if that was just a rumor. Okay, so reliable people in chat have said it's only two. So it's Bristow and Austin. Now, I would like to point out on this schedule, this is the whole schedule here. Austin, 8/13. That was in the middle of a 3 in a row. That was the date that was between two shows. So they would have had to do 3 in a row. Bristow, also in the middle of a 3 in a row. And if you look at this schedule, this is like 5 shows a week, dude. That is grueling for.
That's a lot. If he's doing roughly, I think 2-hour-ish sets, maybe a little less. I'm not sure. But it's more than an hour. They do more than an hour set for sure.
Any band, regardless of what style of music they're playing, 5 shows a week for amphitheaters and arenas and shit is rough, dude. And if you would have put those other shows in there, Austin and Bristow, that would have made it 6 shows a week. Now, for me, just where those shows are placed tells me everything I know or everything I need to know about why they were canceled. They were not canceled because of low ticket sales. They were canceled because this band and crew is going to need a break. And even Ronnie has come out in the last 24 hours and said, hey, I would strain my voice. We have to give ourselves a break. Sorry, but we are getting rid of these shows. Because the truth is, no band, no artist anywhere wants to cancel a show. And I see
that's a lot of fucking money for a lot of people.
So many people throwing stuff out here like, oh, they're booking these shows and they're canceling because he just gets to keep the money and run with it and walk away with it. That is not how this works.
If anything, they probably lose a whole shitload of money.
Because when shows get canceled, there are a lot of different things that can happen depending on who cancels the show, whether it's the artist that cancels the show or the promoter that cancels the show. But let's talk about this specific situation and we'll focus on Austin and Bristow. They have these shows booked. Tickets are selling. I would assume because he said they need to give themselves a break so they don't strain, he doesn't strain his voice and everybody gets a break. They're not doing 6 shows in a week. This was canceled from the band's side of things. We saw in that article that it did say the promoter has canceled your event. That means that the promoter has agreed to cancel the event, whether it was at their request or not. With a lot of these cancellations, there is a clause in contracts that is called a force majeure. And that is basically...
Oh God. That's the word. That's Bob Aine's favorite word.
An act of God thing. If the show gets canceled due to what they deem as an act of God, something that is out of everybody's controls, usually the band will still get to keep their deposited guarantee for the show. The guarantee is the set amount of money that the promoter deposits to the band's bank account to get them to play the show.
That's like if a meteor lands on the venue. You know, no one caused that to happen.
You know, like making a deposit on anything. A lot of these promoters will have act of God insurance, for force majeure insurance, so that if something like this happens and they lose their money for that deposit and guarantee, insurance will cover that. Now, in this specific situation, because it is the band, or what it would seem is canceling, this is not an act of God. This is not getting canceled by the
You just say Ronnie's not God. Ronnie's going to come after you, Tank. No.
promoter due to low ticket sales. And that's one thing I didn't bring up. Everybody that's saying that this was canceled due to low ticket sales, the promoter most likely would have pulled the plug due to low ticket sales, not the band. Because if the band shows up and performs, they're still going to get their guarantee, regardless of if one person bought a ticket or 10,000. So
the band that big, yeah, they have a guarantee. A band like mine, it'd probably depend on how many people are there if we got paid at all. But yeah, Falling in Reverse would have a contract where they got paid no matter how many people were there if they performed.
So if this was low ticket sales and it was canceled by a promoter, it's because the promoter figured out he would actually lose less money by canceling the show than putting it on with the tickets that were sold. But let's go back to this. Falling in Reverse canceled the show because they needed a break in their schedule. They are not getting paid. They're not getting their deposit. They're not getting their guarantee. That deposit will be sent back to the promoter by their booking agency. So for the people that are saying he's just keeping the money and walking away, it's literally not how this works. And feeding into this is the biggest part about this is that no artist wants to cancel a show. They're losing money.
That's a lot of money. That's what I'm saying. It's the opposite.
Falling in Reverse is losing money by canceling a show. That's how important having a break is in this situation. They would rather lose money than put themselves in the situation where they strain their voices or they put on a bad show for the crowd, because there are a lot of things that need to be paid for out on the road, not just like crew that are working, but the buses, the trucks, all of that stuff has to be paid for by week. So whether they do a show or not, they're paying for it. They have to pay for all the gear that's been rented that's out on the road, the audio, the lighting, the pyro. They budgeted for pyro for those shows. So now they've got a surplus of pyro that they're not going to use.
Someone commented, what would the deposit be for a band like Gojira to show up and play? A lot. A fucking lot. A lot of money.
Because they originally had those shows. Yeah, or as Mr. MX just said, risking that they might have to cancel more shows because Ronnie might destroy his voice by putting on that show that they didn't cancel. Yeah, sure. Now, with all that out of the way, Forever Violet in chat just brought up a really, really good point that I was hoping to get to. So the $1 million question, why was it booked that way in the first place?
Yeah.
I will admit that is a very good question.
It is.
Because when these...
And I feel for the fans who wanted to go and bought tickets and now maybe spent money on... That was a terrible pause. I'm sorry, Tank. But for the fans who like booked hotels or anything and don't get that money back, that sucks.
Tours are being booked. Managers, and most of the time the bands, will see the tentative routing for these shows. And somebody had to have approved that. Whether it was Ronnie or their management or whoever... Somebody had to have seen the tentative routing for this tour and been like, yeah, book it. We'll do all these. But now they've decided they're not going to. So my first initial thought was, yeah, they should have known better about this and maybe had better communication. And maybe somebody should have said, hey, we can't do 6 shows a week, or hey, we're going to not do 3 in a row and we need these days off.
Yeah.
Or they possibly, which probably happened in this situation, is they didn't realize it until it was too late. Like, if I am not mistaken, what I saw Ronnie say online was some of these new songs are straining on my voice, and I didn't think it was going to be a problem, but it is. Don't quote me on that. I'm not looking it up right now. I just believe that's what I read.
He said that they added 3 songs to the set. I don't think he said that exactly, but he said that to take the show off, and they added 3 songs.
So they may not have known that it was going to be, the schedule is going to be as grueling as it was when it was booked. And that's why they've now canceled these leading up to it. Yeah, Tuba Cuba just said in chat, they probably thought the schedule was going to work until they found out that it doesn't work. 100% absolutely. And again, I'll remind everybody, no artist wants to cancel a show. ever for any reason, because it means they're going to lose money in the long run because they're not going to wind up getting their guarantee or even more than that. Because the guarantee is just the baseline. Let's just say, for the sake of numbers, a band is getting $100,000 for a guarantee to perform somewhere. That's the guarantee that they're getting regardless of how many people show up.
Yeah.
Now, once there's a baseline of ticket sales that have been met, there are a lot of bonuses involved. Bands often make way more than their guarantee, but they have a lot of expenses and stuff. So if you think about a lot of the expenses that a band has to pay for after they get their net from doing a show, like, again, the crew, the buses, the trucks, all the gear, like,
the crew is such a big part that a lot of people don't think about. People think Ronnie just decided not to play a show to be lazy, when it's all these crew people involved and their parts are affected.
They're losing at least 5 figures for each of these shows that have been canceled. Easily. And nobody wants that. Deep-Rug
more than all of the people in the comment sections will ever make in their lives combined.
Brings up another good point too. Lost merch revenue. Yeah. They could have made an additional $100,000 from selling merch that night. Beastie in chat just said, how does cancellations affect the opening bands to, like, they still get paid still?
They can go play like an off show if they need to, or they can eat it.
That would all depend on the situation too.
Yeah.
Like, I know there
a lot of bands will try to do off shows as headliners to make up for that.
Are bands that would go out of their way to still pay those openers. It kind of all depends on, like, really, like, who's cool. But I know situations in the industry where bands have taken care of their crews where they shouldn't need to. Like,
from what I know about Ronnie and seen from, like, how he's behind the scenes, I would believe that he would have covered that, but I could be wrong. I don't know.
People love to dump on Slaughter to Prevail, especially after, you know, this whole thing about their drum tech and stuff like that. But Slaughter to Prevail was support on a tour that got canceled somewhat recently, I think in the last year or two. And I know for a fact they still paid their crew for that entire tour that got canceled.
Nice. That's a
so
lot.
There are bands out there that will take care of the crew, the support, whoever, even if something gets canceled.
A fucking evil Nazi piece of shit.
When it's not their fault. But on the flip side of that is Darren in chat just said, I had a whole tour cancel on me that was supposed to start in a few days, and the artist I was going to work for just went, sorry, I lost a whole month of pay and there's no recourse.
Yeah, fuck those people. I hate when bands cancel a tour or whatever, and it's just a vague, due to unforeseen circumstances. The circumstances are your dick not wanting to do the show, or they'll make up excuses. Ronnie came out and said the actual reason for canceling. You don't have to like the reason, but he gave way more than just due to unforeseen circumstances.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate part about being a roadie.
I heard, all right, I'll give a little bit of shit talking, just a little, not to Ronnie, but I heard that allegedly the artist Wednesday 13 did that one time, canceled a whole bunch of shows all of a sudden just because, like, didn't want to, and the tour people were really pissed off. That might be a story I was told allegedly in a dream from a birdie or something.
I think all of us have gone through that at least once. Because if you don't have, like, a contract, which not a lot of roadies do contracts with their bands that they're working for. If you don't have a contract that stipulates that you're going to get paid even if there's a cancellation, they are not legally obligated to pay you. And a lot of roadies are paid on a show-to-show basis. So if the band is not doing a show, they don't feel like they're obligated to have to pay the crew because the crew didn't work. But that sucks for roadies because that takes away all this time that they could have taken another gig on or been working on something else. Like, it sucks. It's a terrible situation. This business sucks sometimes, dude. It really does. Like, that's why I like to talk about stuff on like this on my channel, is because I feel like a lot of people romanticize the music industry a lot. And the truth is, this business does suck at times. Like,
every single person I know in the metal industry will tell you about the bullshit that's involved with it. Even if they still love many parts of it. Of course, any job is like that.
I love what I do. I've been touring for 20 years. I couldn't imagine doing anything else, but it's not all sunshines and rainbows in this industry. And there's a lot of shitty stuff that does go on. But in this specific situation, from my experience and my knowledge, there's nothing shitty going on with this. This isn't some weird fucking thing where they're just canceling shows for no reasons and trying to collect guarantees and stuff like that. It's not happening, dude. They canceled because they needed a break. You can look at the schedule and see that. Like, that's it. There's no more to it. But anyways, I feel like that's all that needs to be said.
And I think it sucks for the fans that wanted to go and had tickets and got refunds, like I said. But besides that, yeah, there's nothing else like shady or shitty about it. And it's funny what he said, that there's so many shitty people in the music industry, and then people hate on Alex Terrible and Ronnie Radke and accuse them of all this shit when there's way worse people. But yeah, basically, as I thought, I agreed with everything that Tank said. And think the whole isn't it so stupid? Fans of supposedly heavy music are complaining about controversial artists. Back in my day, we would watch Jerry Springer, and you'd have fucking Klan members and Nazis on TV and people throwing chairs at them. And everyone had a great time. You saw artists wearing Nazi shit or saying offensive things, and you were like, ah, cool. Rather than being like, ah, I'm offended that a hard metal artist would be controversial. Speaking of that, let's get to the last thing. This is one of the longest podcasts I've done, but, well, actually not compared to the Aussie one, but to further show really quickly how people spread rumors and gossip and made up shit online. Someone just commented, there are bands that are openly Nazis, like all the NSBM bands. Yeah. And they argue that Alex Terrible is a Nazi. Like, no, there's bands that will just straight up tell you that they're Nazis, you know? So, to further prove how people make up shit about anyone they don't like for whatever reason, I found this thread on Reddit, a great place of intelligence. This was talking about Banger doing the review for Slaughter to Prevail and then deleting it. As for a bunch of people who hate them, saying Banger TV reviews the new Slaughter to Prevail record, and the reviewer has a crash out in the comments defending Alex Terrible. Remember that word, crash out. Let's go through some of their responses and see if anyone in the chat would consider it a crash out. Because to me, a crash out is someone like on the verge of unhinged, shouting, misspelling things, making really stupid statements. One was someone commented, I like a fair bit of deathcore, but this just seems boring, like Lorna Shore making new metal with awful lyrics. So I have no idea how they've managed to get so big. Also, Alex Terrible has done too much fash stuff in the past to ignore, so I don't understand why Banger would even promote this. And then the reviewer said, it's catchy and it's hype. That's how. Almost nobody knows what is happening in metal lyrics anyway. You can at least understand Alex, even though he is so heavy and he has a killer image and on-screen persona, and that gets people listening and paying to go see them live. Was that a crash out? Does that count as a crash out? That seemed like a response and not a crash out. This person said, unsubscribed from the dang Patreon for promoting someone who collabed with accused domestic violence rapid word Ronnie Radke and was totally never a fascist with his black sun tattoo. Didn't know about the bear wrestling thing, but I guess you could now add clout chasing animal abuse to the list. Music also bites. You are a fucking retard. That bear is trained. Russians go take pictures with it all the time. I follow that bear on Instagram. You're an idiot. But the reviewer said, Ronnie is sick. I don't see anything wrong with him. Tons of people support him and he sells out arenas. Alex is great too, a genuine entertainer. Y'all are way too serious about little things in life. Focus on being more positive and learn to see the bigger picture. It'll help you get places too. Major crash out, according to these people. And then right under that was a YouTuber you might recognize who said, do you need a hug? So comments here. Galaxy's Edge says, hell no. That's a crash out right there. That's good internet. Wyatt riddle me this. Why is that saying that he has an attempt at redemption makes you a Nazi and a transphobe? Why is that saying that he has an attempt at redemption because people don't decide what they want no matter what. In this day and age, it's if you're accused, you're guilty no matter what. No matter if there's evidence proving otherwise, no matter if it's entirely on video. If you're accused, you're guilty, period. Did he have a crash out though? I don't consider that a crash out. I consider that a response. If you don't want to listen to Slaughter Prevail, then stay at camp, have a beer, make friends with strangers, go to different bands the next day. Yeah. And talk about how much you think they suck back at camp. Fine. Do that. But so, that's the man crashing out. If we get down into the comments here, it's Reddit, so you know what to expect. But I found these. Emotional Nerd said, Wyatt's metal is there too, of fucking course. That's me. Hi. Someone said, for real, I used to like his vlogs until he started bringing up how snowflakes and woke are ruining metal. I don't know if I've ever said the term snowflakes on this channel at any point. I've said woke occasionally when it applies. I mostly say how weak, stupid people are ruining metal. If you want to take that to mean woke, I think that says more about you. And how only mainstream bands he likes just happen to be Falling in Reverse and Slaughter to Prevail. I like maybe 5 songs at most from both of these bands. I just defend them because of the amount of bullshit they get. Watching his early videos talking about his European Metal Festival experiences are what finally convinced me to buy a Wacken ticket for 2024. At the time, he just seemed like a chill dude. I am. And then he made those videos about Ronnie Radke and those comments you mentioned. I made one video about Ronnie Radke saying that the allegations against him weren't true. And then any other video I made about Ronnie Radke was him calling out pedophiles. Do you have an issue with that, Emotional Nerd? I also like his band's music, to be honest, but yeah, he's an asshole. That one's not terribly wrong. I'm fairly, remember, they're talking about me. When I found this thread, I thought of that scene in Goodfellas when he walks out of the court and they're like, hey, you broke your cherry. Hey. I'm fairly confident most of these comments are his purposefully controversial, dark sense of humor for the most part, so don't mind it much. Still love his content. Thank you. His views on Ronnie Radke are interesting, though, for sure. Are they interesting because they're based in facts and reality? Certainly. I didn't mean to click that at all. Certainly interesting. Seems he's very clearly stated he doesn't like Falling in Reverse, but seems to think Ronnie Radke is funny and tells it like it is. I have never, on camera, off camera, I have never said I like this person because he tells it like it is. That is not how I talk. But then they sent a link of my Aftershock video where I said I watched them and they were cool. This comment, a brief moment of sanity, says, wanted to like him, met him on 70,000 Tons of Metal. One of those too cool for school douchebag metalheads. He's talking about me. Lot of posturing and pretension. Because if you know me on here, making all of my jokes, using Rocket to make jokes, talking shit about bands, I am posturing, pretentious, and too cool for school. When people come up to me at concerts, I push them away and say, be gone, peasant. I am too cool for school. Also, maybe it's just, well, first of that, you met me on 70K. When? Did you meet me the first day of the cruise when I was sick? Because I don't remember meeting anyone where I was an asshole towards. Usually, most of the time, pretty much every time I meet someone in person that says they're a fan of the channel, I'm like, that's fucking awesome. Thanks, man. And like talk. I've never been like, ew, don't talk to me, scum. I would love to know what moment I was too cool for school on 70K. Also, maybe it's just me, but he's been sneaking more digs and pot shots and just genuinely nasty comments in his content lately. Yeah, I'm good. I'll still watch his odd video now and then while cooking. So I still watch this. I hope you hear this and have me saying that. I think you're a fucking idiot. Because that's not how I act. LOL Reddit. I've had enough of Wyatt's posturing pretentiousness. I'm going back to Fantano. Well, now you know you've made it when they shit talk you. Old Hollywood Wyatt over here. That's right. People come up to me and say, I'm a huge fan of your channel, and I spit on them, especially if they're Canadian. He's someone I could have a beer with. Gee whiz. How dare you say what you want on your channel, dude? I always make this joke. It's normal to get comments from people saying, dude, I'm a big fan of your channel because I watched 3 of your videos, but I'm assuming that you insinuated an opinion that I don't agree with, so could you change everything about your content for me? Thanks. That's how a lot of fucking people are, dude. Hold up, where we at? I guess people don't like sarcasm as much as I do. People don't get it. People do not get my sarcasm. If you see my band live, you know I'm like shit making jokes. We make fun of each other and tell jokes on stage. What's the problem with Canada, guy? It's there. What do you mean? You answered your own question. It's Canada. I loved on 70,000 Tons of Metal. I'm sure it's not this fucking retard, but I was somewhere on the boat hanging out, and this guy and his little son came up to me and said that they were big fans of the channel. And the little kid goes, please don't send Godzilla to step on our house. We're from Canada. It was so funny. They were being funny, of course, but like I've had a lot of Canadians say that they love that joke. Anyway, yeah, people don't understand sarcasm. Similarly, I don't know if it's the same person or not, but I think it was the first year I went to Milwaukee Metal Fest. One of them. I was walking by and someone came up to me and said like, hey, you're Wyatt from YouTube. And I was like, yeah. And usually people go like, I love your channel, or it's so awesome. And this guy goes, I left you a comment you didn't respond to. And I was like, what? And he's like, yeah, I asked you if you wanted to collab and you ignored it. He literally said it exactly like this as I was like walking through a crowd, and was like, did you send me an email? And he's like, oh, no, I didn't. And I was like, oh. And he goes, oh, do you get like a lot of comments? I was like, yeah. So because of that, dude probably thinks I'm an asshole because I didn't see his one comment. But that's how things can go online. Now, if you ever see me in person, you can come up to me 100%. I love meeting fans. I'm super grateful for it. It blows my mind because I don't think of myself as any type of thing. As long as you don't try to like have a deep conversation with me while a band is playing, you know? But anyway, they also said, I think that's probably because at the start he didn't want to appear as controversial, divisive, but now that he has a fair amount of subs and a solid base, he can just go mask off. I will say that at the beginning of YouTube, for a lot of people, there is this type of hesitation of how much of your opinion you want to give on something because of exactly people like this. But I was never like, oh, I'm secretly hiding this plan to spread hateful content. And one day, when I have enough followers, I'll just unleash all of it. I'm not Hassan Piker, motherfucker. But there is a hesitancy as your channel's growing to like, if people are saying Ronnie Radke is a murderer, and you know that's wrong, you're like, should I make a video saying that and deal with the hate comments or not? And then you get to a point where you're like, I thought this was metal. I can say whatever the fuck I want. How about who really gives a shit? If you care that much about an artist, why go suck his dick and be... Why not go suck his dick and be... What the fuck are you talking about? I don't know what's going on there. My bad. There was another one, though. Where'd it go? Am I missing one? Oh, I think so. Wait. I know there's one I'm missing. Where there was someone saying that they thought I was taking the Savior of Metal thing too seriously. Where is that one? Because that was great. Shit, I don't know. Maybe they lost it. See, this is why we make videos like this, to say like, hey, these things aren't true, because people like Dash Harper go, I'm real fucking sick of Nazi apologists and kid copy fascism. Fuck Nazis. And we have enough problems with people thinking we're all baby sacrificing meth head Satanists. Can't we just make sure not to make this a safe space for piss baby Nazi assholes? So that's the type of person who's why we need to be like, no, he's not a Nazi. He's not, an abuser. You people are dumb. You can say you hate the music. Y'all, if people say your music taste sucks, just know that person is miserable. Pretty much. Yeah. Kinda. Hassan Piker tells it like it is. Why it's metal. Yes. That's a direct, real quote. 100%. Daniel says, your channel is the only one I actually watch weekly. I am typing this with my newborn in my arms. Cheers. Shout out to Daniel with the awesome newborn being shown this grifter of metal growing up to become a hater and an internet shill. No, Shaq, congratulations, man. That's awesome. That was everything to cover here. I'm going to answer a couple more comments for a second, and then we'll mosey on out of here, but I'm not leaving. I do have a surprise, actually, because I changed the outro for the channel, or for the podcast. Some of you might have seen it already, but you'll all enjoy it. So stay tuned to the end for a special after credit scene of Avengers Doomsday. No, I'm kidding. That's not true. I don't come up to Wyatt because I'm too cool for school. Exactly. That's so weird because, like, me and my band, like, and my friends were always silly, usually high, making jokes about everything. I'm never this pretentious, like, douchebag. This really proves my theory that there are two kinds of metalheads. Those that live online perpetually and those that listen to music in real life. It's much better being around real life metalheads. Correct. These people do live in comment sections. The people saying they won't go to Bloodstock because it's not safe for them now, there will be no difference in audience attendance. It will still be packed. Wyatt, please, I need to know what you think of Primus. They are not my thing. They are a talented band. It's not my type of music. I'm not really into more, what would you say, proggy, experimental, weird fusion type shit. They're not a band I hate on at all, but I don't listen to them. Wyatt, get a haircut. This is the longest my hair's been for a minute. And I've actually been thinking about that because I don't understand people commenting. People sometimes comment my videos saying that I'm bald, or I should just shave my head. I'm very aware I have a large forehead. I don't think I'm anywhere near bald. I don't understand when people like, do you have bad depth perception? This confuses me. I have a large forehead. I'm not denying that because I'm so damn smart, but I'm not bald. Just grow your hair out. That's what I was saying. It's already getting to the point. I'm like, oh, I love headbanging with it. With the band, it's great, but every other time it just feels gross. I'm already thinking of cutting it because, like, it feels sweaty right now. Ugh, it's awful. That's what we call thinning. Fine, as I said, it's defamation to say I'm bald. It's fair to say it's thinning. But before I head out of here, I wanted to let you guys know that my other channels are up and running. Let me show you. If you're a fan of this channel, Wyatt's Metal, my other channels, I have now Wyatt Vision, my Slop Reaction channel. I'm going to pull it up here in a second when I can. Stop being dumb. All right. If you would like more of my funny, sarcastic shit talking on subjects that aren't metal, you can check out Wyatt Vision, where I'm just reacting to whatever content I feel like online. This was a reaction to funny Spartacus show, reaction to Pedro Pascal being weird, guy with a gun saves Walmart, does Burning Man hide predators? Anything and everything I feel like reacting to on YouTube can go on this channel. So if you want to check that out, feel free. There's not any fancy editing in these videos. It's just me slop reacting. So you can check that out. I uploaded those videos right now. There's a brief pause. I'm going to get up another video for the metal channel, worst meltdowns on stage. And then when that's up, the Wyatt's Vision channel will regularly have a new video every day. I'm going to record videos and backlog it so that I can schedule it so that every single day we'll upload a video. And then the other one, real quickly. Pause. That. My other channel for my gaming stuff is called WM Games, meaning Wyatt's Metal Games. This is where I'm doing quick gaming content. For those who don't know, I got really into modding video games. So I made like this video. I remastered GTA 5 with mods. This is a legitimate video where I am narrating. I've put edits in it, funny commentary. I'm really proud of the mods I put in it to show off, even though I didn't make any of them, just move files. We get the point. But a lot of these videos are just gameplay without commentary, just to show off cool stuff. But this one is a real video with real commentary that people will find funny. Check it out. I put a lot of work into it, and I'm going to do more like it. I got to do one for Red Dead and a couple more games. Those are my other channels. Check them out if you want more content from me. Also, my band, Dark Insanity, is playing Thursday, October 16th with Carnivore AD at the Whiskey A Go-Go. You can hit up me or the band page for tickets. Come on out. It will be awesome. We have other shows coming up soon that aren't announced yet, but they are coming down the pipeline. Dark Insanity is doing stuff. Can you link the channels? Can I? Let's see. Try to share one really quick. I'll put it in the chat and you can like copy paste it or whatever. I think I put links to them in my channel bio too. If they're not there, they will be there momentarily. But here's the link to my GTA video. You guys, if you're into gaming stuff, you should check it out. It's cool. It's funny. I'm very sarcastic and silly. There you go. Do you think you'll ever go out of America with Dark Insanity? We already did when we played the Tulminator Festival last year in Slovenia, which was an amazing time. The answer is yes, 100%, whenever the timing comes up. I would love to hit up festivals next year, but we'll see. But yeah, if you like gaming stuff, check out that video. Let me know what you think. With that said, here's a glimpse of what you can expect on that gaming channel. My new outro for the stream, I think it fits very well. You get another Dark Insanity song. Force Jamie Josta to book Dark Insanity at Milwaukee Metal Fest. Jamie, if you're watching, book us. We'll do it. Anyway, thanks for tuning in, everybody. Very much appreciate it. I'm planning on being back next week. Look out for more videos coming very soon. Enjoy. A quick example. This is an accurate depiction of
to your thighs and belly.
Like I care.